Cummins has died at the age of 93.
Betty Boothroyd had been on the stage as a dancer, one of the famous Tiller Girls. She worked as a secretary to politicians before becoming a Labour MP in West Bromwich. In 1992, she became the first female speaker with a brisk, no-nonsense style that became internationally famous thanks to the broadcasting of Parliament. She chose not to wear the traditional speaker's wig, but upheld most Commons customs. Asked how she'd like to be addressed, she told MPs, "Call me Madam." After 8 years, she retired as an MP and later entered the Lords as Baroness Boothroyd, where she was a fierce opponent of plans to elect peers and a vocal critic of Brexit and, on occasion, Boris Johnson.
The BBC's Helen Catt. German Chancellor Scholz says his government wants to make it easier for information technology experts from India to obtain work visas in Germany. News and analysis, townhall.com. Rescuers are searching for dozens of people believed still missing from a migrant shipwreck off the southern coast of Italy.
Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi, who has spearheaded Italy's crackdown on migration, has met with local officials in Crotone. At a press conference on Sunday, he said it was impossible to conduct any possible maneuvers to get close to the migrant ship or to carry out a rescue due to the sea conditions. At least 80 people survived Sunday's shipwreck, with rescue crews recovering dozens of bodies, including those of several children and the corpse of a young man on Monday morning. Dozens more were feared dead. The ship was carrying around 170 people. Piantedosi insists the solution is to put an end to migrant crossings at their origin. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me. Mike Winters. Happy. Well, less Pointy Monday.
Yeah, gosh.
Boy, howdy was that a day. Or afternoon, at least. Good news is, it wasn't a terribly long period of craziness, but when it was here.
No, it was, and it came in massive bursts was the problem. Like, twice yesterday, Rhiannon came out of her room and she's like, thank goodness it's over. And then it would start again.
Yeah.
And the worst part was, it was because it was coming from the direction it was coming, which I'm pretty sure was south to north bound. It was hitting Rhiannon's windows really hard, like rattling them. And there was a few times I was sure I was going to lose a window or two yesterday, but it powered through.
Good. Good.
Yes,
well, I hope everyone else did as well. I know saw a lot of dumpsters and
oh man, so many dumpsters
blowing it. Good
whole
luck.
Trees in the road too.
Yeah, trees. Yeah, we had quite a bit. Matter of fact,
my grill is in my front yard. I have to do something about that.
Is it your grill or someone else?
Thank goodness it's my grill. The propane tank, not so much. That stayed where it was supposed to be, but the grill would be where.
I think this morning everyone's giving back the trash cans and grills and lawn furniture and everything else. But hopefully everyone fared through yesterday's wind event okay. They end up postponing the Sunday Fun Day. They're going to reschedule that. The Fort Chaplain ceremony also got canceled. I know we're meeting Thursday. We'll let you know if we reschedule that and all that. But, yeah, they at first we're going to have it, and then then it was getting worse, and then I think around 1:32, my phone started blowing up with the boop, boop. You're like,
which is great. Now we get EAS sound on our phone.
Yeah, and that made me pee a little.
Yeah, it's real good for a young girl with anxiety too. She was every time she heard the phone, she's like, "Was that your phone again?" I'm like, "It's fine, Rhiannon. They're just warning us."
That's when you're like, "I do have incontinence issues."
Right. As long as we stay inside, it'll be fine.
But I'm glad you fared okay. I hope everyone else did as well. But picking up the pieces. Good news.
Yep.
Less windy today, but tomorrow we're going to see more of it.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. But we're in a red flag warning right now through 6 p.m. this evening.
Really?
I don't know if that's just because of lower humidity.
Possibly.
But because we're not supposed to be windy today. They're talking 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. It's supposed to be warm, near 70 today, 68. But we do have a red flag warning through 6 p.m. this evening. But really, tomorrow we're back to the winds and all that. So, but anyway, I'll get you up to date with the weather in just a little bit here. So, hope everyone had a good weekend. Saturday was nice.
Yeah, Saturday was great.
Saturday was good. I
got to say, congratulations to GDP. They had their album release on Saturday at the Liberty. Packed house, great show.
I saw you went to a show the other night and danced and had a good time.
That's GDP's first official album. Like, they've put out a couple of 2-song EPs and some singles, but that's their first official album. Like, that's been put out studio with the whole glossy finish and all that. So
what? Fancified.
It is. So congrats to GDP. They're going places.
Good deal. So are they doing any other shows around town soon?
Pretty much anytime you see like a rock show coming up, that you can expect the GDP is probably going to be opening up for them or somewhere there adjacent. They also run the sound for a lot of the city events too. So
okay,
they'll pop up.
You say rock show, all I can think of that Big Bang Theory with the geologist guy. Rock show, rock show, rock show.
Speaking of, how apt are you to relive some of your glory days?
How apt am I?
Yeah, how eager would you be to relive some of your glory days?
Depends on which glory day we're reliving.
What if I told you Hemlock's coming to town?
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
In like 2 weeks.
No kidding.
Well, March 19th.
That'd be fun to.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got to remind you, I'm doing it on air. Thursday, we got a thing, you and I.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, it's Dr. Seuss Day. Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're doing the school.
Yeah, so we're going to be at Brendo Elementary.
Nice.
After, I think, lunchtime.
Okay.
I think we could be there at 11. I'll confirm that with my wife. But yeah, we're going to be reading to students around the school on Thursday.
I'll try to make it through Hop on Pop, but I think it's so tragic the way they hopped on Pop.
We got to be on our best behavior.
Oh, I'll do my best. No,
I've already been warned. We got to be on our best behavior.
Me at elementary schools, dude, I'm a hoot. I'm a great time because I do all the voices and stuff. Like when I read.
He's going to make me look bad.
I get into it. Well, because I went and read to my son's class, and yeah, it was a.
I've done it before too.
Yeah, it was a dinosaur book, and he had a blast. He loved it. So
it's embarrassing when I stammer through the book half the thing.
Well, the problem. Okay, so here's the thing: anybody who's ever read in front of a class or read in front of anybody knows you have to read it like this because you're letting the kids see the pictures, and you have to kind of cock your head and read it this way. Now, we work in the industry where we're kind of trained to read under duress, so to speak, so we know how to read a lot better in certain conditions. Like I can like look at a TV screen and read upside down, or if we're on the other side of a window, I can usually read inside or backwards.
You just said reading under duress. I was like, yeah, we had these classes.
Gun to your head.
They got guns to your head, or they're throwing like cupcakes at you while you're trying to read.
Mouth! Bamboo shoots under your nails. The fifth grade dog jumped over the lazy fox.
I was like, wow, but we're ready. Yep. But yeah, so we look forward to that on Thursday. So we got to do that. But yeah, I think we have to be there 11, but I'll confirm.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll do that. Got my hair cut finally. That was nice. So yeah, it's been a. You know what else I watched? 6 of the 7 episodes that are out right now is that Apple Plus show Shrinking.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's the thing. Bill Lawrence is he's kind of one of those can't miss people when it comes to that style of single camera dramedy. He's really good at that style of television.
Well, that season's still being released, so they've got more episodes coming. Okay. But yeah, I'm almost caught up with the thing. But yeah, it's pretty good.
It's funny. I watched the trailer for it. And I'm like, this looks pretty good. This looks fine. Wait, Krista Miller? Did Bill Lawrence direct this? Because every time you see Krista Miller, you can instantly assume it's a Bill Lawrence project.
Yeah, basically the premise is Jason Segel's character. They're all therapists.
Right.
Like Harrison Ford, it's like a therapist clinic. I think Harrison Ford's character is like, I'm not sure if he owns the clinic or he's just the senior therapist at the clinic. And then there's Jason Segel, another lady, and they're kind of like the junior therapist. Right. But they're all like family. And so Jason Segel's wife had died a year prior in a car accident.
Spoiler alert.
And that's when the show picks up, like a year later with him, and he's still coming out of his funk from that. But it's actually like, as the series progresses, you learn their relationships are deeper. At first, you're just kind of, and it starts with Krista Miller, who's Jason Segel's neighbor, who ends up, because Jason's got a daughter, and that's kind of the relationship. The whole story centers around the daughter, but the relationship between Jason Segel and his daughter. Everyone else are supporting cast around, but that's the main story.
Right.
But it's pretty good.
The way I picked up from the trailer was basically, how do you therapize as a therapist when your life has been, put on the skids? And finally, he just says, "Enough's enough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear."
Yeah, and that's part of what he does. Is he does some therapy with, with some of the people. Like there's a PTSD guy that he kind of befriends in the show and all that. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it goes. But at the end of the day, it's like a circle of therapy,
right?
Because you find out that. Because the daughter and Jason don't get along. And you find out that both of them have been using Harrison Ford as like a sounding board.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of where and then Harrison Ford's got his issues. And then the third lady, who was best friends with Jason's wife, you find out later, so it's like a circle of therapy. They're all kind of therapying each other, and they just don't realize it, kind of thing. But anyway, it's a good show.
So you're saying it's basically a big circle massage?
Well, it's just these three entities basically in their life and how it's all intertwined. So it's good.
I'm curious to check it out.
It's that dramata or heartfelt comedy, but it's sad and warm at the same time.
I'm gonna wait until all of them are out for the season.
Yeah,
because I think there's still a free trial on Apple Plus, right? They still do the free.
I guess probably every
week.
time you do it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait and binge then, because I don't think I'm gonna commit to Apple Plus. There's just not enough on there. I don't think.
No, there's only one other. The only reason I'm keeping Apple Plus is Ted Lasso,
right?
Because I can't wait for the new season.
Another Bill Lawrence show.
Yeah.
So,
I wish they'd bring Ted Lasso out sooner, because that morning show's out there and I watch that, but I could care less about that.
Yeah, it's
not like
I feel the same way about the morning show that I ultimately wound up feeling about Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. I was very excited for that show, and then it came out and I'm like, I don't really want to see the drama side of comedy.
Yeah. Although I was more excited about Studio 60 because I was a mark for West Wing. Like, I love watching West Wing.
You're Sorkin mark.
I like, well, not necessarily. I liked West Wing. Like, West Wing was fun to watch for me. I was always like, I love how they just solve the world's problems in 60 minutes.
It's not the walk-in talks that you were into.
Well, it was just that whole like they got a crisis, and then by the end of the episode they've solved world peace.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, I like a show that's
it's basically
simple.
Full House on a much grander scale. At the end of the episode, everything's going to be wrapped up in a nice, neat little package.
Yeah. And and Allison Janney just made me feel rest assured every time.
And this is something that you almost can't replicate these days. You can sort of, but you're hard pressed to find it. Is that season-long anxiety of watching the show 24, and only getting an hour of what is ultimately a global crisis every episode. That was anxiety on another level.
See, that's a show I never got into. By the way,
I love 24.
What's his name?
Kiefer Sutherland?
Sutherland. They got a new show on Paramount Plus that looks in that vein of
really?
24. It's something political, and it's him as an action guy. I don't know if it's the same. He plays
the same character in everything he's ever been. Like, if you ever saw Designated Survivor,
I did, where he's vice president and becomes president.
Yeah, he's basically like,
Well, they got a Paramount Plus show that I saw a commercial for that I didn't see a whole lot of content on it, but that's it. Kiefer Sutherland's called Rabbit Hole, but it has that 24 look to it a little bit. So we'll see.
That's neat.
Let me give you the rundown for
yes.
the show. I got to get our interviews. We're going to be replaying interviews this morning. Bill Williams, Chavis County Manager, joined us Friday, filling us in on all the details for the last county commission meeting and other things happening around the county. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a few minutes. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had an interview last week with Desi Aguilar with the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association and talking about their junior leadership event that's coming up here in March. Deadline to register is coming up this week. So we're going to play that for you here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we had the folks from Friends of Bitter Lake join us last week. Meredith Hildreth, president of the board, and Don Weld, and gave us a quick update, talked about a couple events that are going to be happening here in the next few weeks over at the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. So we'll play that interview for you here about 9:15. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local variety and the national variety, along with your Wall Street Town Hall business updates and Hannity and all that, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Yes, sir.
There it is. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that weather. Like I said, not as bad as yesterday, but warm, and we are in a red flag warning, which I'm not sure why.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the gusty wind will hang around for a while as high pressure moves back into our area. We will be getting sunshine today. Wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour and our afternoon high 65 to 70. Overnight will be clear and a little bit breezy down to the low 30s, and then a windy Tuesday. Lots of sun, our high going up to 70, wind kicking up to about 35 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 32 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 43%. Winds currently out of the west at 3 miles per hour. As I mentioned, they say we're in a red flag warning through 6 p.m. this evening. I'm guessing because of humidity and dryness, because today's not really the windy day. Like Steve mentioned, it's tomorrow, but sunny today. Excuse me, hiccups. 68 for a high, southwest winds 5 to 10. For tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34 degrees, west winds at around 10 miles per hour. And then Tuesday is sunny and 72, but the winds out of the southwest early 10 to 20 miles per hour, later increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 36 degrees, southwest winds 5 to 15. Another windy day on Wednesday, sunny and windy with a high near 70, southwest winds 10 to 20 in the morning, increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, there is a 30% chance of showers and, weird part, areas of blowing snow after 11, which I don't know how that's working out. Mostly sunny with a high of 52 and windy. So I don't know what's going on Thursday. They're talking chance of snow and blowing snow with a high of 52. So I don't know if that's what's going on there. Friday, sunny and 62. So maybe they meant blowing dust, but it says blowing snow. I don't understand how that works. Am I reading the right weather? It's saying 30% chance of showers, areas of blowing snow after 11, mostly sunny, high of 52 and windy on Thursday. I'm just reading it. I have no idea what that means. If you find out, let me know. All right, it is 7:21. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. Quick break, and then we'll play our interview here with Bill Williams. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good February run following high winds on Sunday, and a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings with condition. We expect to sell 1,100 head, breaking down like this: 100, 125 weight cows and bulls, 50 to 75 pairs bred cows, 900 to 950 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 41 good Holstein weight cows off one dairy, 90 black Holstein cross yearling heifers, good flesh off the same dairy, 675, 800 pounds, and 41 straight Holstein steer calves off the same dairy, good condition and health, 275, 375 pounds, 37 steer calves, Haystack Land and Cattle Company here in northeast of Roswell, X-quality black and red Angus crossbred calves, cattle weaned 60 plus days, 3 rounds of shots right off cake and grass, 455, 175 pounds, 71 steer calves, Barrow Cattle Company, Andrews, Texas, X-quality straight weight Hereford steer calves. Cattle are weaned 75 days, 2 rounds of shots, cake and grass, 450, 600 pounds. 103 calves, D Square Ranch, Corona, New Mexico. X-quality black, whiteface, red, whiteface English crossbred calves. Cattle weaned in September. 2 rounds of shots, cake and grass, 350, 450 pounds. 36 heifer calves, the Brown Brothers Ranch here southwest of Roswell. X-quality black Brangus crossbred heifers, 3 rounds of shots, PI tested negative right off wheat. 500, 650 pounds, and 2 high-quality registered Brangus heifers to be bred to the bull of your choice. These heifers weigh 800 pounds. Sale time this morning will be 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:30 to 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:15 to 10:30. Fairly short on cows today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 1,100 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
Now I'm addicted to bacon and beef. Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. I was just thinking while you were doing the weather report, only in New Mexico do you say the high tomorrow is going to be 72, and you have to differentiate whether you're talking about the temperature or the wind speed.
Exactly. It's like, pay attention. No, winds are only 60.
Yeah, it's a low today.
It is
not a high.
It is.
Winds are a low of 45 and a high of 78.
Right. It's not about the temps today or anything else. So
we had a couple of guys. One of the things we did on the agenda yesterday, we approved 2 out-of-state travel requests. We had 2 guys, and we had to ratify this one because we missed the deadline to turn it in to the commissioners last month. The information came to us, I think, the same day as commission meeting. So we had to put it on this month's commission meeting and ratify that it was approved by the chairman prior to them leaving town, leaving the state, because we have to ask the commission to leave the state.
Sure.
So these guys were in Wickenburg, Arizona, learning how to use a new piece of equipment we got. We got a new oil distributor, so that should help with our road paving processes.
Kind of distributing the goo.
There you go. A goo distributor. And
These
so
are scientific
they went
words.
out to learn how to maintain it and how to use it to its fullest advantage.
Okay.
So they were out there and they were supposed to come back. So yesterday we were asking the commission to approve the out-of-state travel from whatever date to the day before yesterday.
Okay.
And so I had to interject, can we change that, not from the day before yesterday, but to today, because they're coming in. There was a foot of snow in Flagstaff. And so I thought, well, if we go north, maybe we can get back to New Mexico. But there was a foot of snow. So they said, well, the roads are closed up there. That's not real safe. And if we came back through the south, the winds were blowing 70 miles an hour near Lordsburg. And you know what happens down there. You can't see, and it's very dangerous.
It's white out.
You guys sit still and take an extra day. Sit in the
I've been
motel.
stuck in that part of the woods when a snowstorm hits, and it's not. They'll close interstates and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, those poor guys, they got over there just not that far away, but really it was not real cool for them to try to come back. So we think pretty highly.
Let's
of you
err
guys.
on the side of caution here and be safe. Yeah.
I mean, we just got you taught some stuff.
Shame.
We don't want to lose you, so we got to get you back for that. So
I didn't imagine. I didn't realize Flagstaff it was capable of getting that much snow and stuff. But I guess higher up in elevation there, I guess. So,
and of course they were going to have to come from the southern part of Arizona up through the mountains and stuff, and even coming through Springerville, it would have just been a very difficult time for them. So
yeah,
they
I would
stayed
imagine.
put.
Well,
So
it's, you know,
made more sense.
You know, there's no reason to kill yourself for this for no reason.
Right.
So good deal. So they were able to make that quick.
They did make it back. Yes.
Glancing at the agenda from yesterday's city, it's kind of that atypical, you know, February timeframe type meeting. A lot of housekeeping type stuff with the roads, and these are kind of annual event things you do every year about this time.
Right.
So.
We just had a few items on our agenda, and of course, one of them, the main ones, is the roads. Every fall, we come up with a schedule of events for the road hearings, and so we say we'll take the applications from this time to this time, then that's closed, and then we appoint the freeholders. There's 3 people that are picked from the community that have no ties to any of the roads that are being done.
They don't have a dog in that fight, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And they go out and look at the roads and make a recommendation to the commissioners as to whether or not they think it should be taken on by the county or whatever. Or in the event of a road vacation, they say, looking at your criteria here in your policy, this road doesn't meet the requirements to be vacated.
Gotcha.
So we have a neutral third party that says it should either move forward or not.
And they're looking strictly at what the law says versus what's desired,
Right.
and if those things line up, and if they do, then it goes to the next step. If not, then it's
Right.
squashed right there.
Right. On a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah. The other, you know, it's just a recommendation. Hey, we think that this road would be a great addition to the county, or I don't see why the county would want to take this road over. You know, they say it either way, but it goes to the commissioners to decide ultimately. But in February, we always decide who's going to be on that committee. So they seek out some willing people to fill those roles.
You have to bribe them with lunch or something?
Yes, we do. I bought many burritos for people who are willing to do that.
That's not the day they go to the correction facility to eat lunch.
So we do that every February, and at the same time, we ask the commissioners to approve the list of people, and which is just 3 and an alternate. And we also show them the application so they kind of know what to expect for the year. So
gotcha.
And I don't remember what the numbers were. There were 13 road vacations this year. And so I immediately looked at that because that's the most contentious part of this usually.
Gotcha.
But there's a big number of them that are suggested by the Chaves County Road Department because they're just a dead end alley, or
they're the ones that actually work these and probably are best familiar on the usage of these roads.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we always try to clean up anything that's not to the use and benefit of the public. If it's just going to someone's ranch house, you know, half a mile of road to maintain, going to a ranch house or something, we try to get rid of those because that's not fair to the taxpayer. Exactly. It's a driveway. So we try to do that. So there were several of those in there, or several roads that I wouldn't say they were a driveway necessarily, but didn't.
They were used by one person and one person only, pretty much.
Right.
I gotcha.
So, you know, we do that every February. Other than that, commissioner committee assignments, we usually do that.
Another housekeeping thing, because,
yes,
you know, especially when you have a new commissioner seated and things, they you know, they do the leadership, and then there's also a bunch of committees and things, and so they decide who's going to serve on what committee, and I imagine, is that a time too where they assess what committees are there, or does it strictly just fill in the positions on the committee?
Well, we already have the committees laid out.
I guess what I mean is, do they look back and say, do we still need this committee, or can we get rid of this? I mean, is any of that housekeeping kind of stuff, or is that a different
We probably do that kind of as an ongoing thing, but
like as needed.
Yeah, all these committees are pretty much established that we absolutely need to have.
Gotcha.
2 commissioners.
These
on each
ones
committee.
are kind of they handle staples that happen every year.
Right.
They're standing committees.
You know, we can't have 3 commissioners on any committee, obviously, because that would be a quorum.
A commission meeting.
Yeah, it would be legally a commission.
That's why you never see more than 2 in a room together here, other than the commission chambers.
I mean, they can go to a public event, but they can't group up.
Can't meet and
you know,
talk,
if it's a concert or something, you know, as long as, you know, there's 2 over here and and one, and that this 2 doesn't continue to change, you know.
Right.
Right now it's this one and this one, and in a minute it's this one and this one, and then in a minute, you know, because that's a rolling quorum, and we can't have that as well. Because
so they got to treat it almost like they got a court order against each other to stay away
to stay away from each other, and so they do that. But we elect a new chairman every January, chairman of the county commission. This year it was Jeff Bilberry.
Okay,
he was nominated and voted on last month.
Okay,
and so then
is he Because I know he's in his second term. I'm trying to say, is he most senior now, or is
well, he's got 2 years
okay.
left, and Commissioner Ezell also has 2 years.
Okay, so they've been the same amount of time.
Right.
Here. Gotcha. So, but he's part of the senior commissioners here in that group.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And that's usually the way it goes.
They don't let the new people be the president the first time generally, unless everybody's new.
And usually, as time progresses, they get more comfortable with it and look forward to that opportunity to serve as chairman.
Yeah, chairman.
Some of them don't care to be the chairman.
Sure.
And that's a personal opinion. They feel like they can be more effective here, or they've got too many other commitments.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, the chairman of the commission is just really the official signature of the commission, basically. He runs the meetings and things.
He runs the meetings, and there are some documents that just require the chairman's signature.
Yeah, that's basically the role of the commission,
Right.
The chairman. It's not, doesn't have any more power than any other commissions. It's basically, not it. You're the ones who got to sign it.
Yeah. I sign many of the documents for the county. I've got the authority to do that for many things. And the next step over me would be just the chairman.
Sure.
And then, of course, the major stuff has to be signed by all of the commissioners.
And obviously, when the commission meetings are being conducted, the chairman runs the meetings and therefore has the authority of who can speak and who cannot speak.
And as the chairman, he drafts the first go round of the committees, and so he says, "This is who I think should be on this committee and this committee and this committee."
Sure.
We present that as a draft, and the commissioners then can talk about it and say, "Well, I've been on detention committee for 8 years.
Time for a fresh change.
Can I be on something?"
Yeah.
But usually they're very considerate of who's been on what and what their expertise is, and try to find the right spot.
Obviously, yeah. When you have some lawyers on the commission, you tend to want to put them in the more legal meeting committees and things like that, which is it's based on skill sets, because especially at this level, because county commissioners, city councilors, that their day job is something else.
Exactly.
And so if their day job is something that the city or county can utilize for their knowledge and expertise, then by golly, that's where we're going to put them, and that's just smart. That's just logical, and that's what they do.
And some of the committees we have a finance committee, of course, because we're getting ready to start our budget process for this year. That kicks off in March.
Yeah.
And the beginning of the wheel starting to roll.
It's just that whole, kind of the circle of life thing. It's all right. We're back to that part of the year. Time to start talking budget.
It takes a long time to put together a budget with as many departments and as much.
Well, at this level right now, is this kind of where the department heads are really going through their budget lines and saying, what I want, what do I need? They're kind of building their wish lists / building their budget.
Right. They start looking at last year's budget and say, we're whatever percentage through the year, and I've utilized the appropriate amount of funds for this particular line item. And if they start seeing there's a shortcoming, well, was that caused by, for instance, if it's a maintenance department?
Sure.
Was that caused because of a one-time purchase?
Right.
That
Some
we
water
ended up
line
having
blow or something.
To spend a lot more money than we expected, or is this an ongoing trend? And so then they adjust. Okay, next year I need to ask for a little bit more money for supplies because all the costs have gone up.
Sure.
Or this was a one-time thing. I think we'll be fine staying pretty close to the amount that we asked for last time.
And the good news is the department heads and stuff are pretty good stewards across the board. So it does make the commission's job a little bit easier, where they don't always have to go through and really butcher someone's list.
We are very fortunate that our department heads, we don't have a use it or lose it mentality like a lot of government entities do.
Which is why when you have these roads to nowhere, bridges to nowhere type events, generally it's because of that ideology of which Bill's talking about.
Yeah, if you have an extra $10,000 left,
we got to spend it.
Let's buy something, but we don't really need that. Well, we don't do that.
Who cares? We need to spend it.
We don't do that at the county. In fact, department heads are not really rewarded, but appreciated, because if they don't use all their budget, they turn it back in. And then as we come forward, and as long as there's truth and honor amongst us all, the commissioners treat them, hey, you've always told me the truth.
Sure.
I'm gonna, when you come back to me now and say, I need an increase on this line to buy materials, they're not going to question it, because you've always been honest. Every year before, you brought money back, or that line was used, but the other line you didn't just do wasteful spending to get rid of your budget.
And it works the other way too, whereas as the commission, where you look and you say, okay, because you always give me fair and honest budgets, when you come at me with something that's going to be out of the ordinary or more expensive, they're going to be like, look, if you really need it, then you know what I mean?
Right,
They're not,
right.
because if you have a history of just trying to ask for the most and
just
just
pull the wool over somebody's eyes, they catch on, as anyone, you know, they get tired of being.
So it's that trust between the commission and those department heads to say, look, I'm going to be honest and fair with you, and you do that with me, and that's exactly what it is. Like, be honest with your budgets, be realistic. Don't sell yourself short, but at the same time, don't waste money here. And if they both sides see from that angle, which they do, then it's not really a problem. Things tend to work out that way.
And what happens, you know, as we begin to do our budget, we have what we call capital outlay items. If we need to buy a new truck or a tractor or a piece of heavy equipment or a copier or something that's a significant purchase, we bring that in with our budget and say, these are our capital outlay items. We need to buy 2 pickups for the facility maintenance department or whatever. And they say, well, how much are they? Well, I started to say $20,000 a piece, but that doesn't touch the tires on a pickup these days. But whatever the price is.
Where you guys getting your pickups at?
But, you know, you say, we need 2 pickups. And they say, okay, capital outlay. Well, we don't want to spend next year's money if we don't have to. So they evaluate how much is being turned back in by all the departments. You know, well, we've got a surplus of unused funds because we don't use it or lose it. And they're the ones that make that decision there at the end. And they say, you know, it'd be wiser for us at this point, rather than to push this off to next year. You need 2 pickups at $50,000 a piece. You know, these departments have turned back enough money to cover that. So they go ahead and cover it at
Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah.
So it's not just wasteful spending. It's very well thought out. We do try to spend some funds at the end of the year, but it's not use it or lose it by any means.
Matter of fact, I would think that ideology is more of the style of what one who's a homeowner and would do with their home budget.
Right.
You know, where it's like, okay, I have money, I didn't know, so I have a money earmarked, I could save it, or like we've been talking about getting this new lawnmower. Now that we didn't spend so much here, I mean, that's the same kind of logic you do at home.
Right.
And so to apply
live
that
within your budget, if you've been frugal and careful all year, you have the money to go on vacation. If you don't, you stay home. And that's the way we all live. So our government should work.
And I
that
get
way.
it, government, because where funding comes and how it's transparent, and so you can't run it like your home budget just because of that. But at the same time, there's not a thing wrong with using some of the ideology from that and just doing smart, because some of the same tricks that you do to secure your future and to save money, they work at a government level too. And there's nothing wrong with being good stewards of that. And that's something the county for years has, generation after generation of commissioners and employees and staff, they've been good stewards.
Because it is both of them. You know, we give the commissioners a lot of credit for being serious budget watchers. You know, they make sure that we spend our money wisely, that we have money to cover anything that's unexpected, that we have money for the future, but we still have to provide the services and safety that people expect within our community. But by the same token, each of these department heads understands the big picture, and they give a true cost to what they need, and you know, they should all be commended.
Sure. Which I imagine probably the biggest fight that you guys have been dealing with the last few years, and it'll probably be the same one that, you know, you guys will be dealing with for this budget cycle, is just the cost of doing business now compared to what it was five years ago.
Right.
That probably factors in big time as far as numbers on budgets and things like that.
One of the things that we're going to present to our finance committee this year that we're hoping to sell to the commissioners to fund for this coming budget year is we need to do a salary survey within the county to make sure that all of our positions are paid at the appropriate level.
Stay competitive in the job world. Yeah.
One of the things that we did last year was we know that the state has been pushing to raise the minimum wage, and it was had to be $11, then $12, $13, $14, all the way up to $15 over a period of years. So last year we went to the commission and said, we're going to be faced with this. We have some jobs that are below where they're going to be. Ultimately, they're going to get to $15 an hour. We have some jobs that are below that. So let's just do this one time rather than come back to you every year and say, we need to go up another dollar on minimum, up another dollar.
Right.
So we went all the way to the $15 amount, which is supposed to be, I think, three years in the future.
Sure.
So let's do this one time and take care of it. Now the state legislature is talking about $16 this year, so you can't win some of these battles.
Right, but that would have been a bigger bite, even if you went the other way. Still, so in essence, it's like, hey, we've got the means, we've got the ability, let's do it now. Because we don't know the scenario we're going to be in a year from now when it's mandated. At that time, we may have another crisis we're dealing with.
Well, and there's good and bad about raising wages. I mean, it's always good for the people.
Sure.
And it's always good to get the best help that we can get. And
sure.
we certainly
you want the best
that.
people, and
But we have our pay charts. And so depending on the complexity of the job and the duties, the chart goes up. And then, of course, we have years of service. And every year that way you can get an incremental increase. And then cost of living gets added on top of that if that's necessary or whatever.
Sure.
So we have all of our charts. Well, when you raise that bottom level to a much higher level, we raised it $2
sure.
in some
That's
cases.
That's a huge
to get
percentage
to 15.
increase, yeah.
Well, that compresses the rest of the chart. So now, if you wanted to take on more responsibility and duties to move to another job, you usually like to get paid a little more for doing that.
It's a promotion in pay and in title. Yeah.
When you raise the bottom up, you can't raise the top up
too
equally,
much.
And so it compresses everything together. And so it gets to a point where every year my increase is pretty insignificant.
Sure.
Or if I decide to take on more duties and become a sergeant rather than a corporal at the detention center, there's not a whole lot of incentive. Why would I take on additional duties if I'm not
pay's
getting
not
paid?
that much more? Yeah.
And in particular, when you go from a salaried position or from an hourly position to a salaried position, because then you're required to do more and you can probably make more money on overtime and not have the responsibility. So our charts, because of the effects of many years, but certainly the last year raising up the minimum wage,
kind of skewed
everything's
things off.
compressed. So we need to do a salary study to say, okay,
balance the curve
this
here.
Type of job should be this much above this type of a job.
Sure.
And once you take on these additional responsibilities, it should be worth this much more per hour. And then we stretch that out for the full length of the
I know
chart.
it's a weird concept, but people want to be paid for their skills.
Well, and we want to pay people for our skills. We want to pay the appropriate amounts. And we have really good staff. And we want to be sure we keep them. And we want to encourage others to apply.
And this goes back to the other point because, something that happens at all the time at commission meetings, I think at least once a year you guys do it, where you honor those employees that have been part of the county for a long time. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why year after year when they do that, there's not only one, but usually several people that have got 20, 30 plus years with the county. Mm-hmm. It's because it's a good work environment. That's a testament to that.
And it's more than salary as well.
Sure.
But
there's
a whole
measuring stick
package. Yeah. We have a new commissioner, Michael Perry, and he had been getting his insurance elsewhere. And when he came to the county, because the county generously has been covering the increases on insurance for 4 or 5 years for our employees. We still have to a matching portion.
Sure.
But every time it goes up, most employers
swallow that one.
Say, well, this is yours. This is yours.
We're going to pass that on to your paycheck.
And our commissioners have, because they are frugal in other areas, that they are very careful in how they manage our funds. They have the funds to help their employees.
That's great.
And he was surprised at how much better a deal he got for health insurance. So, recruiting people here, if, just looking at the health insurance alone, county may be a good place for
That's right. There's a carrot I'd like to dangle in front of you.
We also have retirement, and the county actually puts more into our retirement account each month than we do. It's not a huge amount more, but we have a mandatory amount that we have to put in by the state, and then they are supposed to match. Well, they are, I think, 3% more than we are, or in the neighborhood of 3% more. Plus we get holidays and all those sorts of things. So it's a great place to work. That's why people, they get their 5-year pin as the first pin you get, then a 10-year pin, 15. And every time we end up with someone that's over 30 years. Every single year we end up with someone that, when you get to 30 years, we'll give you a plaque, not just a pin.
Yeah, we'll
say,
upgrade you. We'll upgrade you.
You really did good. So
there's only so many places to put pins after 30 years.
Right. So the county's really a good place to work, and it's because of their the way they manage the budgets and the way that they take care of their people. And like I said, even though they could have stretched out this minimum wage thing, they said, let's just do this. Let's take care of it. We're going to be there anyway. Let's start paying our people what they're worth now.
Sure.
And like I say, and that's why we're going to ask them to consider doing a salary survey, because we want to be sure across the board,
sure,
throughout the charts, we're paying people what they're worth.
But and this also, I would even go back to that trust point I was talking about earlier with department heads and the commission knowing, hey, I know you're not going to inflate my budget, therefore, you know, it's the same token by, you know, where people are willing to stay years, people are willing to, you know, when you guys do have bad news, when there's a moment, it's like, look, we've been covering this, but times are lean. We're going to have to, they're going to understand, because they know you guys would have never done this unless it was absolutely necessary. So what I mean by that is by doing those little things like that, showing your employees and showing people that we are looking out for you ahead of the curve and things like that. It's also saying, well, when times get tough here and we have to make some sacrifices, you understand we're not doing it just for the bottom line. We're doing it with the least, you know, where people are first. We're doing this because we're left alternative. You know, hopefully we don't get to that point anytime soon, but if times ever get like that, it's that same trust that's going to keep things going.
And we're very fortunate. I'd say the vast majority of our county employees really have a heart for what they're doing. They really want to serve the public, really want to do good. That's not to say that we can't improve in areas and stuff, because we constantly are working.
We can always be better at everything. Yeah.
Being better at every area that we do. One of the things that we did yesterday, I should get onto our agenda, I guess.
Yeah, we've probably been philosophizing here for the whole time.
That's easier for you to say.
I could spit that out, save my life.
We had a presentation from Jaramillo Accounting Group. They do our audits for us. Every few years, we have to go out for RFP, request for proposals, and evaluate and choose a firm that's going to do our auditing, because we have to do audits to show that we are actually doing things legally and no money's disappearing, all those things.
We do have to prove that we are doing what we say we're doing.
So every 5 years or so, we get a new auditor, or it could be the same one, but we evaluate who we're going to get. But Jaramillo has been very good. They're very tough. They're a forensic auditing company, and they dig so deep. I mean, their goal is to find things that are wrong. And man, they're good at it.
Good. And at the end of the day, that's a good thing. So we can fix
we've had a variety of auditors over the years. You know, some of them are easier, some of them are harder, but this group is particularly thorough.
Good.
And they gave a report, like as they're required to do annually. They came to our commission meeting, let everyone know where we're at on everything. We had 0 audit findings.
Wow.
And that's, again, a testament to our employees. Our finance department, led by Annabelle, who was here last month. Well, you know, they have rows of awards in their office that they get every year because they have no audit findings. Well, they do a great job.
I think this is one of those cases where iron sharpens iron, you know?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so, sure, the standards are hard, but the standards being hard make you better. And that's what's going on here. And so now the fruit of that labor is going. And like you said, we have great people that dot every I and cross every T. And so when it's time to come to analyze and make sure we're doing the right job, they've already been doing these things in practice. So it's just a matter of just, you know, reviewing and making sure there's no anomalies.
You know, I feel bad for them sometimes, because they do cross every T and dot every I, because they make sure that whatever policy is in place, internal controls that we have for managing money and assuring that someone doesn't have any sort of access they shouldn't have to get away with things, that happens all over the government.
God bless the people that pay attention to detail.
They will cross every T, dot every I. Sometimes people get so mad at them and say, well, this is the policy, and we're going to follow this policy to the T. Now, if we change the policy, they'll change with the policy.
Sure, but this is what it says.
They are not going to step out of what it says. It's very black and white, and they do a great job.
You may not want to hang out with these people at parties, but God bless every one of them that pay so much attention to detail, because at the end of the day, they save our bacon time in and time out. So
they do.
So if you have a friend, or you know people that are attention to detail oriented and to the point almost where you're like, dude, give it a rest, just go buy them lunch today. Be happy, because those folks are even on the days you want to punch them in the face, they're the ones that save our bacon and time in and time out, make sure that things are going the right way. And without them, we'd be in chaos and just a complete mess right now.
Right.
So,
and along those same lines, Annabelle came with me last month and talked about ordinance number O-112, adopting a county gross receipts tax. And what it is, this ordinance, as she explained last month, replaces ordinance O-90, which sunsetted. So there's a certain percentage, it's 1/8, if I'm remembering right, and Annabelle will shake her head and correct me when I
just bring her with you every time. That way she can get fixed.
But there was a gross receipts that was designed when they took away the tax, if you want to call it that, on food. So there was a hold harmless deal to make counties whole because they were losing out on what they were getting in revenues from the sale of food and those types of things.
Gotcha.
And so that was designed to go away after so many years. And so it has gone away for that purpose. It's earmarked, in a certain area in the budget. But the taxes didn't go up, anything like that. It's just we have reallocated that to go to the general fund now, because after a certain length of time, it doesn't have to go into that other fund. So now it can go into our general fund. And and so basically, and had we not decided to take that on, it could be picked up by other entities in the area anyway. So chances are that 1/1/8% was not going to go away. It was just someone else would get it. And we really used that to help balance our budgets. The county, I believe that the amount is, I think 34% of our total budget is based on our gross receipts income. We have property tax gross receipts, PILT and payments from the government.
Which is a lot. Not quite as much as city, but
right.
a lot still.
And ours is more of a three-legged stool. We've got kind of three main sources of revenue coming in to provide for the budget for the county. The city is more of a one-legged stool.
Yeah, you guys have property taxes and other things
and theirs is more gross receipts. So they get a larger amount on gross receipts.
They kind of live and die by you buying sandwiches and products here in town.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course you can see that in the way the governments are managed. I mean, they're all about, not that we're not, but they really push tourism and those kind of things that develop and grow a city.
Sure.
Whereas we're more about the long-term
and as a city,
infrastructure.
There's certain resources that they're obligated to provide that the county doesn't have to. So and you partner with on that, because
when we have the same thing, we mirror them. We have thousands of miles of road we have to deal with, and we have to provide the detention center and the place for the courts and the health department, so it's kind of balanced out. Where everyone takes care of what they need to based on what their role,
like trash, water,
is.
things like that. They have a bigger hand in that. Not the county does too, but not like the city and all that.
I mentioned the courthouse. We've signed or the commissioners approved a lease yesterday for the rental of 15,642, I think, square foot of basement area at the courthouse.
Okay.
And that's where the magistrate judges are.
Okay.
We had a 15-year agreement with them that had expired, and we've been working for months to kind of come to an agreement on what that should look like going forward. They are currently trying to build their own courthouses in the state of New Mexico. There's actually legislation going through now where they're trying to fund that.
Okay.
So they can build their own courthouses for magistrate courts. Now, if they build their own, they're going to have all their own maintenance. They're going to have their own staffs. They're going to have a lot of things. So I don't know that fiscally that makes sense, but that is what they're pursuing.
I feel like they're trying to fix something that ain't broke right now.
And, well, yeah, we kind of wonder why they're going that direction. But, it's their prerogative. I
don't have all the information either, so it's not fair for me to say that.
But, we give them a great deal on a modern building where the other courts are housed. And so we stuck to our guns. Says, we believe our real estate is worth this much. We owe it to our citizens to negotiate a fair amount. They had a couple things in their original contract that we didn't agree with. So we negotiated those out, and we got to what we feel is a fair amount, fair value. We only went 7 years because they are hoping that they're going to be building their own stuff and taking their future into their own hands, I guess. But anyway, so we got an agreement signed that will take care of us for about 7 years.
Okay, so at least 7 more years they're going to be there, unless they build early.
And I suspect they'll be there longer than that. But but at least we got that out of the way, and we've been working on that since before Stan Riggs left as county manager. We were bumping up against that term expiring. He reached out to him. We had trouble contact him. As soon as I took over, I continued to reach out. Finally, we got together on this and got that done. So
good.
So that's 7 years. I won't have
That'd be
to worry
kind of
about it
weird if
again.
you see in the magistrate court packing up and like, hey, we're contracts now. We got to move.
Yeah.
We're going to set up at the new Popeyes.
Well, and the thing is, we actually have other entities that are interested in being in that area.
Okay,
And
so it is a coveted real estate space.
Yeah, it's a modern building. It's in good shape. It's maintained well, and
Security's pretty good.
They have great security, and they don't actually pay for the security. The security's already in place.
It's already
because
there,
we
yeah,
have to do that
exactly.
anyway, so they get the benefit of many things.
Yeah.
And we pointed that out to them. They get the benefit of several things.
Sure.
We're very thankful that they're there. Our local people, of course, are great. Our judges are great. All their staff is great.
Sure.
But this all came through Santa Fe, and it took some back and forth to get to where we need to be.
This sounds like one of those things where people that don't necessarily have boots on the ground know what's going on or making decisions, is what it sounds like. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah, we don't know what their staffing is or anything else up there, but the environment has changed a lot with the negotiation with them from the previous attempts, apparently.
Gotcha.
So,
makes sense.
And other counties are having the same issues. When we started negotiating, I reached out to other counties and said, what are you guys doing? And got a real variety of answers back. So all of us are
scratching heads and wondering.
We are.
We're only about 2 minutes left here, so we probably need to kind of wrap it up here a little bit. What do we want to make sure we get out there?
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything. We did a fixed asset disposal, which is another one of those budget things that we do every year.
Kind of a housekeeping thing.
Approved the application for the DWI grant and distribution. Again, it's kind of a housekeeping thing.
Sure.
We get those grants every year. We fill out the applications very similarly, and they just review them and make sure it fits their needs.
And after talking with Diane and them, they got some great stuff planned here for this year and all that as far as education and resources and stuff for DUI.
Diane never ceases to amaze me at how involved she is with this and how much she cares about our community and what she does with the DWI. I mean, she's just a great asset to our county.
I wish I could tell you
more. If you know
Diane,
call her today and tell her. I think it was her birthday maybe a few days. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, call her and tell her how much you appreciate her.
Buy her
she
lunch
does a great
anyway,
job.
even if it's not her birthday. Lunch
yeah,
anyway.
it's her birthday.
I wish I could tell you. I talked to her last week and something they've got planned and they want us to talk about an interview. And I can't say nothing yet, but it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to what's going on.
I'm sure it's an innovative approach to She's just, like I said, never ceases to amaze me with what thought she puts into it and how hard she tries to make our community a better place.
Absolutely.
Through her activities.
But
anyway,
they've got some cool stuff planned. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me in.
Anytime.
I think we covered pretty much everything. The only other thing that's on here is we amended the Chaves County zoning ordinance. It had to do with the wind energy and stuff. We talked about that a little bit last month as well.
Okay.
Just the requirements if they were to build, wind turbine field here is the main brunt of it. There are
you
a
don't
few
want
other
it so
things.
there's a bunch of them sitting in the horizon here.
Don't want them in your backyard.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, there's a place for everything in its place.
We just don't want to see them or
we
hear
have
them.
a very large county, 6,045 miles. I think they all need to be right around Roswell.
We got plenty of room to put them out there in places we're going to look at.
So we got that in writing before anyone comes to us and says, hey, we want to put them on Comanche Hill.
That way you got a big old wind turbine sitting in your backyard right now. So good deal.
But thank you for having me and
anytime.
Look forward to it.
And we'll see you next month. Are we back to normal schedule next month?
We are on normal schedule. I think the only one that is going to be rescheduled here on out is June.
Okay.
Because we have the Association of Counties in San Juan County in June.
Okay.
So we're going to be a week later in June.
So we'll see you back in the third Friday next month.
Every other month except June.
Very good. Well, thank you, Bill. As always, appreciate the visit. Tell everybody we're very appreciative of all the hard work they're doing. And anytime we need additional time, whatever, let me know. Be happy to do it.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, sir. Go get. We've already had one burrito, but I can get another.
Yeah,
one.
I have my burrito on Fridays.
Try a blueberry cream pie. Those things are amazing.
You mentioned those.
They are a 10. They're delicious. All right, it is 8:59. Let's go ahead.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
BBC's Katja Adler with a view from Brussels.
The mood here tonight is cautiously optimistic. The EU has been Brexit burnt before. That said, Prime Minister Sunak is viewed here differently to his predecessors. Yes, he is a Brexiteer, but the EU sees him as a solutions-focused kind of guy, not an ideologue, working here in the interests of the people of Northern Ireland. And they can see why it's in his interest to do this new deal.
Hundreds of people in Croatia had to spend the night in their cars or at gas stations after a snowstorm over the weekend. It brought travel across the country to a halt and left parts of the country completely cut off. News and analysis at townhall.com. After being hit with a series of Western sanctions, Chinese tech giant Huawei is playing a big role in a major trade show, the Mobile World Congress. It's underway now in Barcelona.
Mobile phone makers are showing off their new devices, and telecom industry executives are perusing the latest networking gear and software. A contingent of Chinese companies led by technology giant Huawei is turning out in force to the world's biggest wireless trade fair, aiming to show their muscle in the face of Huawei's blacklisting by Western nations concerned about cybersecurity and escalating tensions with the U.S. over TikTok, spy balloons, and semiconductors. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Today is a day the feds say shipments of toxic waste and tainted water will resume from East Palestine, Ohio, the site of a toxic train derailment. That material is to be sent to 2 disposal sites elsewhere in Ohio, one in Vickery and the other in East Liverpool. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. The Deuce. Good mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Yeah, buddy.
A little less windy today. Good thing. Tomorrow will be windy again.
Yesterday was rough, man. Like, coupled the house with, house rocking with, I don't know what happened, but I got some kind of stomach bug yesterday that just permeated throughout, most of last evening and throughout the night. It was just
not better fun. Now, or
I feel fine so far. This morning was rough, but so far so good. So I was basically trapped inside of a trailer-shaped case of emotion last night.
Well, Roy presented me 2 beverages.
I saw.
Do you want to try those today?
I'm down, yeah.
Okay, maybe next hour. I got a shorter interview next hour.
Sure.
But you up for it?
I'm down.
I
tried one.
Yeah, one was the Coke that you were telling me about.
I've tried this,
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I've tried the zero sugar version of it. So I'm curious to see what the full lead version of it would taste like.
And then he's got a Pepsi that tastes like Peeps.
Peeps. And I can't imagine they could do it. They could pull off a zero sugar Peeps soda.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could, but how do you make a zero sugar flavored marshmallows? Because marshmallows just taste like sugar.
Yeah. Unless they use some Splenda combo or whatever.
I am curious. The guy I used to call my radio life mate, Ron, he is weirdly obsessed with Peeps. He loves Peeps. This is like his time of year. Every year I'll go grab him, a selection of different Peeps and bring them over to him for like a care package.
Okay.
But it's like the one candy he's weirdly obsessed with.
I'm indifferent to Peeps.
I don't like them per se. I mean, there are some that I don't hate.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are like the sour sugar coated and all those. Those are okay. But
I prefer a good snowball. To a Peep.
I don't
I
like
like the snowballs. Especially the chocolate ones. Oh, man.
The chocolate inside, the cake inside is always too dry. And the cream, there's never enough cream. And the marshmallow, it just overpowers everything.
It's one of those that, I prefer them to Peeps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not a... Sorry, I dropped something. I'm not a big... marshmallow per se.
I'm not crazy about chocolate coated marshmallows either.
It's fine. But that being said, if I'm going to eat a marshmallow product, I will take the snowballs over the Peeps any day.
I see.
Just because I like the little sprinkles. I like the whole snowball concept. It feels kind of cool in my hand.
It does feel, I like the squish. You like the squish of it.
It's just more pleasurable experience than pretending I'm eating a dead chicken.
Not crazy about the idea of the chocolate with the marshmallow.
Plus my food's not shaped like an animal, which,
It's one of those things. I think maybe it's also the coconut they put on the outside. It's just all those things together. It makes my jaw hurt.
Yeah.
Like I'm eating something I'm not supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
And that's just it. I don't eat them all the time.
Right.
But like if someone said, here's a marshmallow party, Peeps and snowballs, I'm all about the snowballs. So it's kind of, they're fine if that's what there is to eat, but I don't pick them.
That's not what you go for.
See, it's like Nutter Butters. Nutter Butters are fine, but they're not
Nutter
my one
Butters
seed.
are the best.
People like that. They're fine.
That's like legit one of my favorites. It's my favorite sandwich cookie. However, have you tried the Nutter Butter wafers?
No, I have not.
Those are a game changer. Those things are like the little crispy bits of heaven with the Nutter Butter peanut butter inside.
Well, I like wafers, like the what are they called? Nutty bars or whatever Little Debbie makes. Those are good.
It's not like those. These are like little pods of they're like wafer pods and they have peanut butter inside.
Okay. I'd be down for that.
The only problem with getting a pack is they don't put enough of them in there. And I always feel like a fatty because I sat there and ate a whole package in a sitting.
That's how I feel about Kinder Bueno.
I love
like those are tasty. But I got to eat like
a 3-pack or whatever, and then there's like one more in the 4-pack, and you're like, oh, what did I do to myself?
Yeah.
Get the ghost of Wilford Brimley just floating around your head.
Yeah, those things kind of tease me. But
for a minute, those were my 1-seed candy bar, the Buenos.
Yeah,
I had to like wean myself off because it was to a point where it became a problem.
He's going to meetings about them.
It's the same thing that bugs me about the M&M's chocolate bar. Because if you think about it, M&M's have chocolate inside.
Sure.
And they're wrapped in candy coating. So all that is just a candy bar with little candy bits inside, with little, crispy bits.
It's a different mouthfeel, though.
Is it, though? I think it's the same kind of chocolate.
I know, but when you eat it and then you're sucking on chocolate and then you get to a crunchy part and then back to chocolate, it's kind of a neat little...
Maybe.
It's different.
It was one of those shower thoughts where I was sitting there thinking, it's like, wait a second. M&M's just figured out a way to just insert bits of like crunchy candy into a candy bar and call it the M&M's bar, basically.
What's the difference than shoving Reese's Pieces in a Reese's peanut butter cup?
Exactly. It's the same thing.
But it's a different little taste, mouthfeel to it.
Have you seen the new ones they have? I'm curious to try. It's
so.
got bits of the Reese's Puffs cereal in it.
Okay. I've had the one with pretzel in it.
The potato
That's
chip
good.
one is amazing.
Yeah, the potato chip one is good.
Yeah.
It's a different mouthfeel. It's a different mouthfeel.
Just two boys sitting here talking about sweets. The reality of the situation just sits in sometimes. I'm like, this is how I make my living,
Well, you know what the sad part is? When we were 18, we were talking about girls like this. Now we're talking about food.
I know. This is what happens,
Did you
kids.
see Sue at the thing? She looked really nice today. Now it's like, have you tried Reese's Pieces and a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup?
And yet, just as stimulating conversation.
Exactly. Well, happy Monday.
Yes.
That's all right. In about 20 years, we're going to be talking about the greatest Ensure flavors. We're going to be like, man, have you tried that new Cocoa Puff flavored Ensure?
The bananas and cream one? Oh, my goodness. I didn't even know they could do that.
Tom's got a candy and cream flavor. My Geritol's a minty now. But yeah, that'll be 20 years from now.
So get ready.
Man, my high blood pressure pills are way tastier than other ones.
Did they candy coat these? I think they candy coat them.
Yeah.
Makes them easier to get down.
Why can't they make my high blood pressure meds like Flintstone vitamins? I'd be more apt to take
eventually we're just going to have to start taking our medication like dogs. They're just going to put it in pieces of cheese.
Yeah, hide it and everything.
Our throat.
Oh, well. Well, not yet, but coming soon.
We're getting there.
Well, I don't know. Wait, I'm going. You're going to have to, crush up into mush and feed it to me through a straw or something.
Well, your AI robot companion will make sure to take care of you.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Can't wait for it. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to it. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit, whether you like it. I don't know. It's better than yesterday today, but tomorrow's going to stink again.
Yeah, so it's basically a nonsense sandwich. You might as well enjoy the creamy middle.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, did you hear, I don't know why this triggered that. Did you hear the Dilbert guys went on some kind of racist rant on Twitter?
Really?
And now Dilbert's pretty much canceled by everybody?
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know what he said.
Dilbert didn't even do anything. Dang it.
Yeah, but the creator of Dilbert went online and did some crazy, I don't know what he said or what he did. I just saw the fallout from it. Now everyone's canceling the Dilbert. Like, I think Washington Post and several other major newspapers stopped carrying Dilbert now because
That's crazy.
It. So I don't, but I haven't listened or read what he actually said. I have no idea.
Scott Adams.
Yeah. So I don't know what reminded me of that. Something about the sandwich triggered, and it made me think of Dilbert for some reason. But anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a little bit. Then here in just a few, we're going to play our interview. Desi Aguilar, president of the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, joined us last week discussing teen leadership, which the deadline to sign up is coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be coming up here in just a few weeks. Matter of fact, he'll be in, I think, Thursday or Friday to talk more about it. But we're going to get you a little bit reminder on that before he comes in. Mm-hmm. It's a great program for high school juniors and seniors. So good deal. So we're going to play that here in a bit. Then later on, we'll get you up to date with news and all that good stuff. So that's the plan. Did you see the thing about Dilbert?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see what he said, but...
I haven't either, and I'm not sure if I want to or not. Yeah, right. So it is 8:15. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the gusty wind will hang around for a while as high pressure moves back into our area. We will be getting sunshine today. Wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour and our afternoon high 65 to 70. Overnight will be clear and a little bit breezy down to the low 30s, and then a windy Tuesday. Lots of sun, our high going up to 70, wind kicking up to about 35 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are in a red flag warning today through 6 p.m. I think that's more because of low humidity and dryness than wind today. But today, sunny skies, 68 for a high. Winds manageable out of the southwest, 5 to 10. So not too bad today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will be out of the west at around 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, warm and windy. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at sunny skies and 72, but winds will be out of the southwest 20 to 30 tomorrow. Early, increasing 10 to 20 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour tomorrow. So it's a hot mess. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 36, southwest winds 5 to 15. Another windy day on Wednesday, sunny, highs near 70 once again. Winds will be out of the southwest 10 to 20 early once again, then increasing 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Thursday, I don't know what to expect there. They're talking a 30% chance of showers. Based on the temp, it's supposed to be windy with a high of 52. So I would assume that's rain showers. But then after 11, they're saying areas of blowing snow. So I have no idea what the heck they're talking about on Thursday. I don't know if it's Armageddon or what. And then they use the term blustery Thursday night. So I don't know how we get snow at 52. But maybe I'm missing something here. But that's what they say. Friday, sunny skies and 62. And then looks like we'll be floating around 60 on Saturday and back into the 70s on Sunday. So it's going to be a weird week, I think, weather-wise. Just way it's looking. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Desi Aguilar talking about Leadership Roswell Alumni Association and their big teen leadership event coming up. Don't go away.
Nutrien Ag Solutions of Artesia is looking for a CDL driver to join their team. A CDL Class A with hazmat endorsement is preferred, but we'll accept applicants with a CDL Class B. Applicants without hazmat endorsement, please be willing to obtain one. Nutrien Ag Solutions is a respected and well-established company who values their employees and offers a generous benefits package, competitive pay, and will train the right candidate. To apply, stop in person, Nutrien Ag Solutions, 103 East Mill Road in Artesia, or visit online at nutrien.com. And for more information, call Andrea at Nutrien Ag Solutions, 575-748-3510. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
The presiding judge of the Roswell section of the Pecos River Stream Adjudication has issued an order allowing owners of a water right in the Roswell Artesian Basin to file their claim to an earlier priority date if the owner can show that their water right was related to a prior use of surface water. A copy of the order can be obtained from the district court or the office of the state engineer. If you believe that you have a claim, you are urged to contact your attorney for legal advice. If you receive a show of cause packet, you must respond within 60 days of the date of receipt. You may also contact the office of the state engineer for additional information.
Looking for a delicious lunch or dinner? Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. Dine in or carry out. Sample the best Asian cuisine in town. Try their stir-fry rice with pork, chicken, beef, or all three. How about their pad thai chicken, sesame chicken, or sweet and sour chicken? Or try their glass noodle and Thai beef salad, all made fresh to order. Dine in or call ahead and pick up at the Asian Market today.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:23, and joining us in studio, I lied earlier. My brain just went one direction, and then Desi popped in and said, "What are you doing?" Joining us in studio this morning, President of the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, Desi Aguilar, back with us this morning here. I'm trying to think if I've had you on the radio before. Yeah, we've been on a few times. 8 o'clock. Morning, Desi. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, first off, before we kind of get into the teen leadership and all that, let's give folks a little, in case there's someone who's new to the area and has no idea what Leadership Roswell is, let's kind of maybe start there and just explain that, which for folks that aren't familiar, that is the program which both Desi and I are graduates of. And it's a leadership program. It's a year long. They usually meet like once a month. They go all year. Matter of fact, they're right in the middle of classes right now, I think.
Almost wrapping up. I think they'll have 2.
Yeah, it's about they'll be wrapping up here in about April, May time frame.
Yes.
But this class, that's kind of the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association is made up of graduates of that class.
We draw from that pool, yes.
And the two kind of tentpole things that the Alumni Association do is one is support Leadership Roswell, helping out with the class, helping make raise money, get events, whatever they can do to help, they help with that. But the other part is reaching out to youth and getting the leadership into that side of things. And this is something that really, and this is back to kind of Gus, and now Desi is president here. For years now, the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association have been doing this Teen Leadership Institute, partnering every year with the New Mexico Military Institute to present an event that is for high school juniors and seniors. And here's the part you're going to love. Some of these kids will walk away with scholarship money. They got over $5,000 in scholarship that they're going to be awarding to some of these.
Hopefully more.
Hopefully more. Yeah, we're trying to get more, but at least we're guaranteeing at least $5,000. We're shooting for more. But here's the part I love. We don't select them. Desi's not picking who gets these scholarships. None of the adult leaders. It's all based on the classmates, and they amongst them are the ones that really decide who are worthy of that. They do have a big
part of it. We actually last year started doing team leaders as well.
Okay,
we break them into teams.
Okay,
and team leaders also have a vote in it as well.
Gotcha.
Because they get to know their teams very well, so they get to have a little bit of say in there too.
It makes sense. They're seeing who
absolutely.
They're seeing all those moments of because that. It's really the great part is it's a 2-day event here or is it longer now? 26
we actually
a third day.
Stretch it a little more because one of our biggest requests every year is it's not long enough. We want more time, and so we go from a day and a half, then 2, and so this year we're going to try a little more than 2.
Good deal.
2.5.
Well, and again, that's a testament to the program because let's face it, how many kids are in a program even remotely like this, and their complaint is it's not long enough.
Right.
You know
they
what I
want
mean? Most of them are like, I can't wait to get through it or whatever. But they really see the value and enjoy it because it really is now 3 days of learning leadership, learning how to work as a group, learning how to the different styles of leadership, and what it really teaches these kids problem solving, and that. It really, some of the things that you try to teach in school, try to teach in home, but sometimes the ingredients just don't let that lesson sink in so well. Teen leadership thrives in that setting.
And we take some time to try to draw out a lot of the things that the students don't see in themselves.
Yeah.
We try to make them realize the things that they are missing.
Give a couple examples of some of the exercises and some of the things that some of these students go through during the event.
Well, with it being such a compact time period, they don't get bored.
It's fast and furious.
They go and go and go and still want more time. They get to know each other very well, especially now in this new team format that we're doing. And they work together. They do some exercises where they build. I don't want to give away too much, but they build some things that make them work together as a team.
Sure.
And utilize each other's strengths and weaknesses so that they know who is good at what, and maybe make themselves realize, hey, I'm really good at this, or I need to work on
find their
that.
Niches a little bit. Yeah, it kind of give them a chance to blossom a little bit, and here's the thing too is it that by design it challenges these students. The idea is to push them a little bit out of their comfort zones and get them out of their boxes, and because that's something, we as human beings, that's how we grow and learn. If everything was easy, then shoot, we wouldn't even need these leadership classes or anything, right? You know, exactly. But life's hard to achieve success, to achieve goals. It requires a certain, you know, effort and mindset, and that's at the end of the day, this teen leadership program really emphasizes that and gives the kids these tools to whatever direction they go. And that's the other thing too. Just because it's, you know, partnered with NMMI and teen leadership, this is not a military style.
Oh no, not at all.
None of that. This is strictly, you know what I think of a lot alike, and this is just because of my comparison growing up. I was in the Boy Scouts, and one of the things we did a lot, it was called a COPE course, and for life of me, I can't remember what the COPE stand for, but in essence, it was a different series of events. Some were group activities on the low ground, like, hey, we've got like a tire, you've got to get everybody through the tire without touching the sides or something like that. But then it got even to other stuff where like they're doing high wire walking and things like that. And so, but all of this was designed to figure out things as a team, but they use a lot of that style of education to teach these students these different aspects of leadership.
And we do the same thing. We have exercises that are in the classroom, and we have exercises that are out in the field. Some of them are just, you know, on a tightrope that's just a foot off the ground.
Sure.
And it doesn't sound like much, but when you're actually up there doing it, it plays into your mind some.
It gives you a little bit of apprehension, you know. Plus, you have an audience watching you, and that adds a little bit to that tension, which we want a little bit of that to get you to think under pressure. At the same time, we all know, okay, you fall off the 1 foot here, you know,
you're not going to get hurt.
Yeah, you're not going to get hurt. It's no big deal. So it's the best way we can replicate the danger without the danger.
and that's where we start them, you know, is down low. We also have other exercises where they can do more challenging things. You know, they can climb the rock wall. They can do the rappel tower. They can do lots of different things.
So there is enough adrenaline junkie type stuff for folks that want that.
And we don't require anybody to, you know, we're not forcing them to go rappel off the tower. If they want to do that, fine. If they don't, that's okay.
I will tell you this. As a person, me personally, that's petrified of heights. I've done the rappelling. I've done the rock climbing. I've done, you know, pole climbing with trees. I've done all those things.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I hate it. I don't want nothing to do with it. But I did it and I overcame it. And I'll tell you this, I feel like I'm a better person because I said, you know what? I'm gonna suck it up here a little bit and I'm gonna rappel down this cliff here or climb up this tower.
And that's part of the students growing to push their limits and test their growing outside their box.
Now don't get me wrong, if someone said, "Well, climb a tower today," I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to get up there. I still don't like heights. But I at least know that if I get put in that situation, I'm gonna try to problem solve and not just freak out up there.
Absolutely.
And that's what this program's about, is to give these students the tools for when life hits you with those rough moments, you're equipped to navigate through them. And at the end of the day, that's what this class is about in a nutshell.
And Eric Everson, he runs the program over there on the ropes course and the Daniels. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out on the name of it right now.
The Leadership Center?
Yeah, the actual challenge course.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, you're right. It's got a very long, proper name that I can't remember right now.
but he runs an amazing program, and he puts together a lot of the curriculum for this, but more and more every year, you know, developing. And, you know, last year we had quite a few guest speakers, and that was great. This year we're getting away from some of the guest speakers and doing more hands-on activities.
Sure. Well, you're also coming out of COVID, which is a great part, too, is despite what life handed us, you know, we were still able to keep this program going during that time.
2 years ago, we did this program still,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, we only had, I think it was about 12, 15 kids, something like that. And then last year, we bumped back up. We were almost at 30. This year, our goal is 30 kids again. And we are taking applications, and we have been getting some. We would like to see representation from all the area schools. You know, we've invited, of course, everybody in town. We've invited Fort Sumner and Portales and Ruidoso and
so even
and
outside of Chavez County, even into Lincoln and Eddy and other counties, Roosevelt, everywhere else too.
Because we've had students, you know, a couple of years ago, we had one from Artesia. And last year we didn't have as many schools. Hopefully bounce that back again. So far this year, we have Roswell and Goddard and MMI. We have a homeschooler. I think that's all we have currently.
Okay.
I've had a lot of interest from other schools, but I haven't seen those applications, so I need those to get in.
Those kids in Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, Artesia, points. Shoot, what about you kids out there in Hondo and
Anybody
and down there in those little valley there between here and Ruidoso? Come on down.
Well, even in town, we haven't seen any from early college or Gateway yet.
Where's some? Exactly. Where's our other institutes of learning? Some of our private schools. Come on out and bring.
They're invited too.
Absolutely. Come on. It's a great opportunity for kids, and I'm telling you. It's one of these things where the proof is in the pudding. Right.
That's
the
why
kids.
I put the quotes from the students last year.
Yeah, these kids all, even the ones that kind of come in a little apprehensive because parents were kind of saying, you need to do this. They come out saying, "Holy cow!" They make friends. And that's the thing too. For in the past 2 days, now we're going into the 3 days. For basically 2 days of a bunch of kids hanging out together. To see the relationships that form from that afterwards, right? It's amazing. So it's a little bit of a networking opportunity for some
and
of
it
these
doesn't
kids
matter
too.
where you're from, because everybody is. We're asking the students, and it's been this way, that not to wear any school identifying clothing or anything. So they wear whatever they want.
Sure.
We say, okay, you're not from Roswell High, you're not from Goddard, you're not from Artesia, you're just a student attending.
We're all a human being here. Yeah.
We're all on new teams now.
Exactly. And that's the concept is getting, get it. And that's, and I'm telling you that it's, we talk about, we dangle the carrot and say, hey, these juniors and seniors could get a lot of cash, for scholarships and things. But really the real value is that 3 days of classes and activities that they're going to be doing that I don't care what their goals are in life, whether they want to pursue a career in the military, or if they want to just start a business, or if they're, ready for college. The things that they're going to learn through this teen leadership, they can apply that same lessons in their next level of schooling, their job force, their home life. It really helps to strengthen a foundation for whatever direction each of these students want to do with their future, and that's what this is about.
Right, and we're not trying to guide anyone into any certain direction. We just try to open their eyes to see what they can become of themselves.
It's designed to challenge, push the envelope a little bit.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, let these students learn a little bit more about themselves, and then also learn how to navigate in situations that they're going to come across in life that are stressful or tough, or I don't care who you are, you're going to come across these moments in life. Wouldn't it be nice if your children had the tools to navigate those things, and rather you hope and pray and cross your fingers we got it right, send them through this. Give them the more ammunition you give them to guide through their lives through this stuff, the better you're doing.
Absolutely.
So please sign up now. There is a deadline coming up here in about 2 weeks. So if you want to get your students signed up, you've got until March 3rd to get applications turned in. You can get your application from any of your school counselors. And if you can't, if you don't, if your school counselor doesn't have one, you can shoot an email to roswellteenleadership@gmail.com. They'll send you an application, and then you can fill it out and email it right back to that same email.
Absolutely.
And then you're registered and good to go. Again, it's for high school juniors and high school seniors. So, and here's the thing: if you came as a junior last year, come on down as a senior. We'd love to have you. Odds are, you're probably going to be assuming a more leadership role because you've experienced some of this, and you're probably going to be just by default a leader to the others, but not necessarily.
We'll see who steps up.
Yeah, exactly, that's true. But I'm just saying, it does. As someone going through the program a second time, we're hoping you're applying some of the things you learned the first time into how you do it the second time. But again, but
you got to get those apps in.
You got to get the apps in. And by the way, if you're a junior that got a scholarship last year, you're still.
Absolutely.
You're
eligible
you're in the running for this one too. So you could, double dip here if you want and get a little bit extra money for college when you graduate. But again, all high school seniors and juniors are eligible to apply. Again, go contact your high school guidance counselor at any of the local high schools. If they don't know if they look at you like deer in headlights and don't know what you're talking about, shoot an email to roswellteenleadership, all one word, at gmail.com. Or if you reach out and call me here, or you can call Desi or text 575-420-8732.
Yes.
He'll make sure an application comes your way. Or if you have any questions or, I'm sure there's probably a few students that have certain needs or something like that. And if you have questions about that, they'll be happy to address those there for you too. So, and I just encourage. It doesn't, to sign up. Really present this to your kids. Maybe if you were listening on the way to school this morning here, and please, this is setting the table for your foundation. It's money for college potentially, and regardless, even if you don't get awarded a scholarship, the information and things you take from that, we're going to serve you well the rest of your life.
And to be honest, a lot of times the students that do come in, they're saying, I came in because I wanted to get a scholarship, but they left just happy to have the experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sounds cliche, but it's not at all.
And this is, I know this is why you do it. This is why all the staff and everyone that's volunteering their time to work with these kids over the 3 days, they do it because they see the light bulb moments. They see those moments where the kids struggle, and then it's like, oh, this is what they're saying. And then
that's why they want more.
Yeah. And then it's like, holy cow, because it is. It's no different than when you, as a human being, discover something new. You kind of want to go down that rabbit hole. It's like, well, what's next with it? They got bit with the bug, the same thing. They're like, this is amazing. What else can I learn and apply? And then next thing you know, their college grades start going up because they've got a plan in place on, discipline and implementing a little bit of, because it's college. We all want to have fun. What were we told when we were kids? The funnest time of your life there in college.
Right.
But it's also the most important time for getting studied and setting the table for your future. And now you've got the tools to do both. What information am I missing? Is there anything I'm missing that we want to make sure we talk about?
I just want to give a quick shout out to a few of our sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this doesn't happen without the support of these people and institutions.
Of course, the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association is always the biggest donor. We're the ones putting on the show.
Yeah.
And we as a group are the ones who make the biggest.
And the folks that work on that board, and I'm a part of it, although I'm not really there that often, but great people that they and every single one of them got 60 things going on in their lives, but they want to take time to work with not only these kids, but our future leaders in Roswell here. So.
Yes. Of course, as you mentioned, New Mexico Military Institute is also one of our biggest supporters. Maybe it's not always the biggest monetary supporter, which they do help as well, but without them, like I said, this wouldn't happen.
And I would imagine much of the curriculum and things that you talk about, because it's people like yourself and guys, people before you,
right.
And a lot of them, their day job is the New Mexico Military Institute.
Yes.
So it's like, if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? So what they're teaching there applies is exactly what they're teaching here. So might as well, let's do it here. This is because, and to be honest, if you go through this class and you're like, man, I would love to do more, talk to Desi and any of the instructors there, and they'll be happy to show you more about the New Mexico Military Institute because and again, a great junior college or high school, depending on how old your student is. But here's the thing: there's no commitment to military, which is a misconception. A lot of people think that if I'm going to NIM, it means I got to go join the service afterward. No, you go wherever you want to, unless you join ROTC and that kind of thing. Which you can do, and if you're wanting to prep for it, it's all there.
Totally your choice.
But if you're like, I just want the education that NMMI provides, no problem. You could take that wherever you want.
Great education.
But if you go through this class and you're thinking, you know what, I think I like this, and I think I'd like a little bit more of that style, please reach out. And they'll be happy to start talking about, But again, no obligation, no nothing. This isn't not an advertisement for NMMI either. Right. They just chew a lot of the same dirt and have a lot in common. And if you like one, you're probably going to like the other.
They are a very gracious host.
Absolutely. And we would not have a teen leadership without the New Mexico Military Institute.
Right.
And the staff that they allow us to have volunteer for it, like Desi.
We're borrowing out a little bit.
Yeah, when he's his day job, he's a major, but right now he's just Desi. So.
That's right.
Who else do we want to thank?
NMUR has given us some money this year.
Very good support of Leadership Roswell and the programs, and yes, absolutely.
Pecos Valley Rotary has stepped up this year and given us some donations. Church on the Move, McDonald's, Nick Snowburger.
Nice.
Donated
Nick's a
some
very
money.
strong supporter of Leadership Bravo and kids, too,
Yes.
with his Snowburger Foundation. He works a lot with kids and teachers, so this lines up right with his ideologies and things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Character counts. Always helping us out.
Well,
yeah, no question there.
Without one, there can't be the other, it seems like, right?
New York Life, XL Energy, Armstrong, Carnero, one of your neighbors here.
Yeah.
He's going to help out this year.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So thank you to those businesses that are helping out, too. They, and I know, some of those folks, they're Leadership Roswell alum themselves, so they know the value of the program, hence the raise they're doing.
Yeah.
But some of those, like Excel, you just see their name everywhere. There's something good going on in this community. Excel is
Some people
usually
are
there
just givers.
supports, and so we thank every one of these supporters, financially, donating of time, donating of effort,
Absolutely.
resources, whatever you did to help make this event happen this year and be a success.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chase Foundation last year gave us a pretty good donation.
Yeah.
And they said they're going to do something this year as well. So we're looking forward to that. But, yeah, and I'm looking for more sponsors as well.
We're not
the
done
more
yet,
we get, the more we can give to these kids. And
Well,
that's what
and
it's
we
all about.
mentioned towards the beginning of this interview here, right now we've got over $5,000 in scholarships to be awarded. We're not capping that.
No, absolutely not.
We would love, because I got to be honest, it does get to a point where you kind of like, man, there's more kids here that are very deserving of it. I wish we could help them out some way.
We
shape,
always
or form.
want to do more. And
when we get a few extra generous people and saying, hey, here's another 1,000, here's another 500, whatever it is, it goes right to these kids' scholarships. And so we feel good because we're like, oh, we get to help more kids, but at the end of the day, it's you guys that are making it happen. We're just the conduit that's doing it here.
There's anybody out there that wants to support, just let us know.
If you're listening and you're saying, man, that's a great way to get involved. My business would like to represent and donate, or my individual, my family, whatever. Here's $1,000. Make sure it goes to one of these high school kids here and help out.
Absolutely.
And we'll be able to. And so we'd like to do it a little bit before March 26th, but we'll take it anytime. But reach out. Again, you can reach out directly to Desi for that kind of stuff if you want to get involved. 575-420-8732, or shoot an email to roswellteenleadership@gmail.com. Either way, someone will get a hold of you.
I'm constantly checking that, so yeah.
Leadership Roswell Alumni Association also has a Facebook page.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to shoot a message through that.
Go like our page.
And go like and follow. And I guarantee if you say, hey, I want to give you a big check to donate, someone will get back to you.
We won't argue.
Get back to you real quick. Very good. And of course, if you're interested in becoming, if you are a graduate of Leadership Roswell and looking to serve the alumni here, they're going to be meeting today, actually, at 11:30 or noon.
11:30.
And we are at Amigos, right?
Today's
Amigos Restaurant.
We do a different one every month.
Pop on by and say, hey, I want to get involved and volunteer. Maybe we'll have you serve on the board at some point, but there's always, we need more alumni to get involved. And we got lots of them out there. It's been over 30 years of this program and roughly 30 people a year.
We're at about 1,000.
Yeah.
A little over 1,000 now.
And so we only got a handful of people that are actually serving. So we got plenty of applicants out there. But if you'd like to and of course, if you want to learn more about what Leadership Roswell is, we'd be happy to give you that information and look around July timeframe, June-July timeframe. We're going to be looking for the new class here. So very good. Again, one more time. This is March 26th through 28th. It's going to be held at the New Mexico Military Institute.
And we did schedule it right at the end of spring break because so many people are gone during spring break.
So you can still have your spring break and still catch this.
This is the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday following spring break.
Very good.
So, some of the students are actually worried about missing school, but, we do let all the administrators know at the local schools that, hey, we're asking the kids to miss these 2 days of school. Hopefully, being after spring break, things are kind of slow. They ramp up a little bit after that.
Sure.
We're trying to find the best time. There's never going to be a perfect time.
Sure. Someone's going to have an issue. But yeah, you're trying to accommodate.
Trying to miss all the sports and miss all the important things.
And let's face it, too, the what they're doing that day, if there is a class in session, it would, I think it's equally important in whatever lessons they're learning. I
think it'd be worth it.
Exactly. So
I know it would.
But again, the deadline to get your application in is March 3rd. They don't want to extend that deadline. We want to make sure. And then, if you have any questions or anything, shoot an email, Roswell Teen Leadership, all one word, @gmail.com. You can, if you want to request an application through there, if you have questions, or of course, fill out your application, submit it back to that website.
Yes.
And then talk to your guidance counselors at all the high schools locally here. They should be on their radar about this too. And by the way, there's no cost or anything involved, correct?
Absolutely, it's 100% free to the students.
And that's the other part. So, I'm going to tell you, you can easily pay $500 or $1,000 for a class of this caliber.
we do invest a lot of money to put
and I'm probably lowballing it on, depending on who's offering it, but completely free. And at the end of the day, your child may end up earning some cash for high school or for scholarships here.
That's right.
So, good deal. Well, Desi, as always, appreciate the visit. Anytime we can have you guys need anything, come on down, and
I appreciate your time.
And just be on the lookout, because we got now that we're here we're still February, but we're kind of smelling March already.
It goes fast.
Yeah. We're going to be getting into the spring, and that is kind of a busier time of year. Spring and summer are actually for Leadership Roswell and the alumni, because we have our graduations coming up. The teen leadership is always in March, and that's always one of our tentpole events. So we're getting into a busy time of year.
Annual
for
awards
Leadership
things coming up again.
Award will be coming up in the summer, and a lot of these are community involved. It's not just Leadership Roswell.
Right.
So be on the lookout. We'll be telling you more about those.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir. We'll let you go out there and stomp out the fires. You got to go do at work now and do all that.
Get back to work.
That's right. He's like, quit skating off there, Dizzy. Get to work. So thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. All right. It is.
Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. Eddy County is now looking for a full-time public records coordinator due to a significant increase in public records requests over the past few years. County commissioners approved the creation of the full-time position this month based on a request from County Manager Alan Davis. Davis said the executive administration assistant now spends nearly all of her time fulfilling public records requests. State law requires open access to nearly all public records involving state and local governments. On the crime beat now, a Roswell man ordered to serve 12 years behind bars for killing his ex-girlfriend in 2021. Christopher Beltran pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for the shooting of 34-year-old Dominique Gonzalez. Roswell police responded to the report of gunshots on the night of June 26, 2021, and found Gonzalez dead of gunshot wounds. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like the gusty wind will hang around for a while as high pressure moves back into our area. We will be getting sunshine today. Wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour, and our afternoon high 65 to 70. Overnight will be clear and a little bit breezy, down to the low 30s, and then a windy Tuesday. Lots of sun, our high going up to 70, wind kicking up to about 35 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. consumer spending increased by the most in nearly 2 years in January amid a surge in wage gains, while inflation accelerated, adding to financial market fears that the Federal Reserve could continue raising interest rates into the summer. New vehicle sales in the United States are expected to increase in February, but the decision by General Motors to cut production of large pickup trucks at a U.S. plant points to new challenges for Detroit's automakers. The major Detroit pickup truck brands are sitting on growing inventories of unsold vehicles, according to Cox Automotive. A German court on Friday rejected a farmer's bid to force automaker Volkswagen to end the sale of vehicles with combustion engines by 2030. The farmer said the drier soil and heavier rains because of climate change are harming his fields, cattle, and commercial forests. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in New Mexico, but it's preventable. If you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, are overweight, smoke, or have other risk factors, it's time to talk to a cardiologist. The cardiology team at Artesia General Hospital has the experience and latest diagnostic technologies to help you identify your risk factors and diagnose and treat any heart health concerns you might face. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart. Request your cardiology appointment today at artesiageneral.com/heart.
It's time to stock up on beef. Do it the most affordable way by buying a whole or half beef from Runyon Cattle. A whole beef feeds a family of 4 for nearly a year. Buy your meat in bulk for about $6 a pound. Skip the store and skip the wait lines. Beef isn't something that you should have to wait on. Stock up on New Mexico homegrown grass-fed and grass-finished beef today by calling Lisa with Runyon Cattle at 760-5655. That's 760-5655. Delivered to your home freezer.
When it comes to your business, Big O Tires knows how important it is to keep your commercial vehicles moving. Why not take your fleet vehicles to the team you trust? Big O Tires has a wide tire selection, offers quality automotive services, and provides priority appointments. With over 60 years experience, our technicians will get your operation back in action quickly. Roll into Big O Tires, your one-stop shop for all your commercial vehicle needs.
Artesia Car Enthusiast, Artesia Chamber of Commerce, and Artesia Main Street bring you the 24th Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise 2023. Last year's record number of cars of all ages and sizes is sure to be beaten as we have expanded areas for vehicle display, added more food vendors, tractor row, and even a bike boulevard all downtown. We kick things off Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. for the Main Street Cruise from Bulldog Bowl to 2nd Street and back. Join us Saturday, April 1st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Artesia transforms into one of the hottest spots for car enthusiasts, residents, and visitors. Please come together to enjoy a weekend filled with music, cruising, friendly competition, and lots of fun for the whole family. Spectators are always free. For more information or to register your car, go to artesiachamber.com or stop by the office at 107 North 1st Street in Artesia. The Main Event Car Show and Cruise, Friday, March 31st and Saturday, April 1st in downtown Artesia. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax. Edge Safety and Services LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screen. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 402 West Main Street inside the Edge Safety and Services facility. Edge Safety and Services LLC is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8, closing in on 8:55. Next hour, stay tuned. We're going to play our interview we had with the folks from Friends of Bitter Lake. We had Don Weld and newly elected president of the Friends Board, Meredith Hildreth, and they joined us, talked about some events and stuff they got coming up. So we'll play that for you next hour.
Coming up on busy season for Bitter Lakes as the springtime season comes up, the bloom, a lot of great photo ops out there.
Of course, every time we talk to them, I always joke, but it is what it is. Is Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is, in essence, a pilot Flying J rest area for migratory birds and things. So,
yeah, there are Loves.
Exactly.
The Loves Travel Center.
So, in the fall, they're as they're heading south, they stop in to, for rest and refuel and stay the night. Well, now they're coming the other way.
Yeah.
They're coming back from the south, and they're going to be stopping in and visiting and, resting up and all that further. So, yes, a lot of opportunities in the spring here. And as a matter of fact, they're getting ready to work on the Monarch Butterfly Trail, and that's kind of some of the stuff they're talking about. So we'll play that interview for you here in just next hour here in just a little bit. So, I was watching TV, and I was kind of telling you about this, but on Saturday night I was flipping channels, and I'm not sure if ABC or Disney's doing, because obviously Disney owns ABC, but I noticed Saturday night in prime times, like 7 o'clock, because they had nothing to show.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, they're putting The Mandalorian on ABC.
That's really, really cool.
So they had episode 1, season 1 of Mandalorian on. So my assumption is they're going to be putting the first season, so every Saturday night. I mean, I guess I'll find out next Saturday when I look, see if episode 2
I mean, it could
on
just
there.
be filler, but that would be really cool and a great way to introduce, that franchise and that universe to a completely new audience.
And the new season's coming out March 1st, I think. So this week.
It's it's really easy when you get on one side of things to be like, well, make it, everybody has streaming services, everybody's watching you'd be surprised how few people actually have the streaming services or have those specific ones.
And I'm wondering, like, in the big scheme of things, with, Disney woke and, people upset and things, like, are they seeing a bottom line hit yet?
Well, I think so, yeah.
I can't imagine. Like, I got a feeling Disney Plus is not doing well. I mean, it's...
As far as I've gathered, Disney Plus is doing fine. The one that's really been hit hard is HBO Max.
Really?
Because of, last year, the acquisition of HBO by Discovery, it's sort of like put a lot of properties in jeopardy. Like the Batgirl movie got basically canned. It was already finished, and they still put it on the shelf. Or was it Supergirl? It was one of those. But yeah, no, it's they are having a lot of trouble over there at HBO Max.
Well, I guess maybe it's people are watching them. It's just I hear more and more people kind of complaining about the content on Disney Plus, the Scooby-Doo thing, well, pretty much every movie that Disney's put out here in the last 2 years, everyone's complained about, and so I'm wondering, like, well, that's got to affect the bottom dollar at some point.
Well, also though, I don't know if you recently heard this, but they got their Dynamo back, Iger.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard he's back. So what does that mean, though? Is he gonna?
I'd be curious.
Is he gonna bring him back, or is he gonna continue with what they're doing, or what's going on? So
I think it's coming to that point where investors are like, where's our ROI? What's we've been sinking money into this thing for what it amounts to a generation now.
I'm sure they have stockholders to answer to, and those are, at the end of the day, those are the ones they have to make happy. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens. But I was just kind of curious because, and to be honest, if it wasn't for Mandalorian, I'd probably consider getting rid of Disney Plus because I watched that.
Yeah.
I watch some of the Marvel stuff, usually with but I don't care that enough where I'm like,
I feel like every time I'm about to get rid of Disney Plus, something else comes along. It's like,
and I don't have kids where I can say, all right, kids, shut up. Here's a Disney show and watch Snow White or something. I don't need that ability. So 9 times out of 10. So I don't. But I like Mandalorian, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to miss Mandalorian. So they got me. They got me. But when that show goes, at some point, I'm like, I don't know what else is around to keep me going here, Same thing with Apple Plus. It wasn't for Ted Lasso, I would have dumped it after the free trial. But
you didn't know about the lore of the Mandalorian before that show premiered. So who's to say that Disney doesn't, come up with some other Dynamo show?
They could reel me back in. But as of right now, I'm not seeing anything to hold me other than Mandalorian. So we'll see. All right, it's closing in on 10 o'clock. News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Do not go away.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The feds say shipments of contaminated waste and tainted water from the site of the fiery Ohio train wreck will resume today. The material to be sent to 2 sites in Ohio. An EPA official says some of the liquid waste will be taken to an underground injection well in Vickery, the solid waste to go to an incinerator in East Liverpool. There's been a back and forth over the administration's response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Republican Congressman Michael McCall, chair of the House Foreign Relations Committee, tells ABC's This Week with George Stephanopoulos that the Biden team should quit dithering over fighter jets for Ukraine.
I don't think it's off the table. I think with enough pressure from Congress on both sides of the aisle, we can get into Ukraine what they really need to win this fight. Otherwise, what are we doing in Ukraine?
White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan defends the administration against charges it has been too slow in supplying the right kind of weaponry to Ukraine.
It's our job to figure out morning, noon, and night. What does the Ukrainian army need on those front lines, and how do we get it to them as rapidly as possible? And we have moved with unprecedented speed and at unprecedented scale.
Sullivan on NBC's Meet the Press. Where did COVID-19 originate? A subject of much debate and finger-pointing in the past few years. Now, a report that the Department of Energy concludes the virus did indeed leak from a lab in Wuhan, China. The Wall Street Journal had the story initially, citing a classified intelligence report delivered to members of Congress as well as the Biden administration. Crews continue working to get the lights back on across parts of Michigan amid power outages caused by last week's major ice storm. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 191 points, the Nasdaq trading 103 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Ukraine's military says Russia is using exploding drones in fresh attacks on several regions of the country.
Ukraine's general staff says its forces have shot down 11 out of 14 Iranian-made Shahed drones. The Kyiv Regional Administration adding that 9 Shaheds were downed overnight around the capital. Meanwhile, Ukraine's presidential office says that at least 2 civilians have been killed and 9 others wounded by Russian attacks during the past 24 hours. Intense fighting has continued around Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Volodar in Donetsk, where Ukrainian towns face relentless Russian shelling. Ukraine's governor there, Pavlo Krylenko, says Russia has actively used aircraft and heavy artillery to strike peaceful cities. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The UN is seeking $4.3 billion at a donors conference in Geneva aimed at alleviating the suffering of millions in war-torn Yemen. News and analysis at townhall.com. Union Pacific may replace its CEO later this year.
The action comes after a hedge fund that holds a $1.6 billion stake in the railroad went public with its concerns about his leadership. Sorbonne Capital Partners says the railroad has lagged behind its peers during Lance Fritz's tenure over the last 8 years. Hedge fund urged the railroad to hire its former chief operations officer, Jim Vena, who helped overhaul Union Pacific's operations several years ago. But the railroad's board praised Fritz Sunday and said it's working with a leadership consultant to identify the best candidates for the job. Jason Walker reporting.
A SpaceX launch that was to have sent 4 astronauts to the International Space Station was a no-go early this morning. There was a last-minute technical glitch. There's no word on when they might try again. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tablet said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody. I wish it was a different day. Like Friday.
Slightly more fried.
Yeah, but it's not. It's Monday. So, but to have a Friday, we have to get through some days.
That's right.
So,
Friday can run because we walked. Isn't that how the saying goes?
Sounds good to
Monday
me.
walked so Friday could run.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds legit. Even if not, fake it till we get it right.
Well, it's not unlegit.
Is it too legit?
I don't know if it's too legit. But it's not unlegit.
Right.
Or is it unlegit? It's unlegit and then quit. That's what it was. Too legit to quit.
I think he's got a movie or something.
Sandberg?
Yeah.
He has something.
I think I saw an advertisement for something.
Well, because you were on that. You were on that.
That animal
control show.
And that guy looks just like
him. He does. He really does.
By the way, after watching 2 episodes, not sure if I like it. It's like it wants to be Community. It just ain't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things that want that.
It's just. I mean, it even got Joel McHale.
It's one of those things. It's like you have to have that perfect combination of all the things.
Yeah.
Great writing team, a good showrunner, fantastic cast, good stories. It is all those things made Community. It's just like I have no idea how they're going to continue Rick and Morty without the voice of both Rick and Morty. I mean, Justin Roiland was the voice of both Rick and Morty in that show. He got canceled. So the show said they're going to continue on. How? At best, you're going to get a off-sounding Rick and Morty because everybody does a Rick and everybody does a Morty, but it's just going to be off Morty.
Sounds like it's going to be the Dukes of Hazzard seasons with
the cousins?
Lance and whatever his name was, Brian or whatever their names were.
And you'd think Dan Harmon would know better than this. He led a whole season of the show Community that they call the Gas Leak season. He was away from the show, and they call that season the Gas Leak season because you could tell it wasn't his stuff, his project. So he should know that it's not going to work. But I guess more power to him.
Well, it's kind of hard to say no to a paycheck.
That's very true.
Because I imagine, even though he's been canceled, he's the creator of the show, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, he would get a check by default.
I think.
It's his property, is it not?
I don't know.
Unless his contract was written in a way that he cut himself out.
I think that he and Dan Harmon are considered co-creators, so at some point maybe he can be opted out. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that works either. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe it'll be the end of it. Maybe they figure it out. Who knows?
I will say this. The next season premiere is probably going to be the most watched episode of all time.
Wow.
Just because everybody's going to be like, what the heck are they going to do?
See the train wreck and see what's going to happen.
To find out what's going to happen, exactly.
I never got into Rick and Morty, so I know of them. I don't know anything about the story.
I got really into them for a quick minute, and then it was like everybody else got into them, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
It was right around.
You hipstered out.
I'll tell you what it was. You can the crystallizing moment when that show jumped the shark, Pickle Rick.
Okay.
It was that episode because it was so meta. It was lead character in a show. Look, I turned myself into a pickle, Morty. I'm Pickle Rick. It became such a meme. It became such a universally known thing that it just the show. I completely lost interest after that.
So would it be fair to say that Rick and Morty fans were upset when you saw them on Pringles commercials a couple years ago? Or that was
Rick and Morty fans get pretty upset when we see a lot of those. We see it on like the Arby's. They do it all the time. Wendy's was doing it for a while. Pringles, same thing. Yeah, it feels real icky.
I got you.
Yeah, okay. It was especially on like some of the boards.
Because I'm not in that group.
Well, I'm not really in it so much anymore. But
I'm not adjacent or anything. Knowing about.
I'm adjacent, exactly. Yeah. So I catch wind.
I am clueless when it comes to that. So.
But it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Okay,
I'll tune in. So
maybe I should watch it like the first season just to see what it's all about. But I don't know.
Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The first 3 seasons of the show, great.
What's it on? Is it on Netflix or is it on?
It would be on HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay, yeah. I got that. So yeah, I can watch that. Maybe one day I will.
Although there's a couple other things that now I want to get back in and go look, and I'm just like, maybe I'll go.
You're
back
still a couple seasons behind on Better Call Saul too.
Yeah, I'm way.
And I heard they're going to be bringing that last season at the end of I think March.
Okay.
To Netflix. So
I just got to wrap my head around starting that over again and getting in there, and I ain't gonna be lied. I'm distracted by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
This Taylor Sheridan guy keeps distracting me with all his shows. By the way,
he's putting out a ton of them. I mean, they're prolific.
The season finale of 1923 aired released yesterday.
Okay.
I watched it last night. And man, he better bring season 2 on all these, because he left us hanging for 1883, left us hanging on 1923, and I'm like, don't make me wait 4 years to figure out what happened, because I'm going to lose interest.
The real cliffhanger is real life in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Because there's talk that it might end after this season, because Kevin Costner's got some other irons in the fire. And so they might wrap the show after he walks.
Now I'm thinking, what if they killed him off, his character?
I've heard a lot of talk of spin-offs.
With the show, well, they've already got that. I mean, he's 1883.
More spin-offs.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if, like, would they carry the show on with Beth or the children, you know? Because isn't that, in theory, what he's trying to do is, when he's gone, the next generation keeps the ranch going.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, it's like, it's so
I
funny.
think it's the opposite, actually, where the longer you wait, the more excited you'll be when
I would agree with you to a point.
happens.
Exactly. There is a line.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is a great example of that, where eventually you just like, yeah, I don't care.
I would say Sopranos did that for me.
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire definitely
was
did it.
terrible about that.
It was the one, because they really got me, like Sopranos had me hooked enough where I was like, Boardwalk Empire was good enough to where, like, okay, after a year or two, I've kind of forgotten what was going on, but they would do that same move where it's like 3 years between, like Game of Thrones, the way they do you. It's HBO. They do it to you this way.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of waiting 2 years in between. And you know what? Now maybe I'll get lucky, because Mayor of Kingstown, they've been doing it yearly, like usually right around in the fall time frame, November time frame. They've released consistently a couple seasons of that. So I'm hoping that's what they're doing with 1883, 1920. So whenever 1883 came out, we should be seeing new ones of those here pretty soon. I'm thinking. 1923, maybe a year from now, we should be seeing new seasons of that, or new episodes from the new season. I hope. And Tulsa King is starting to. I'm not going to lie. Of all the Taylor Sheridan properties,
is that his too?
It is.
Oh wow.
I think that one's my favorite.
He's going to stretch pretty thin.
But I'm a little bit of a mark for mob movies, and that I love, like Godfather, and I love those movies. I just so I'm a little more drawn to that one, because it's a mafia.
It's kind of like when you find out that like Shonda Rhimes is like show running like 17 different shows. It's like eventually it's just going to be 3 people are basically running all these different
Pretty much
franchises.
Paramount Plus would not exist without Taylor Sheridan, because pretty much all their properties that are their tentpole properties are all Taylor Sheridan.
Well, if you look at like how the streaming services are doing, Paramount, it ain't great.
I think Taylor Sheridan is the Chuck Lorre for Paramount that he is that
kind of like
Lorre
what Bill
is for
Lawrence
CBS.
is to Bill Lawrence is to Apple Plus.
Yeah, and Chuck Lorre is to CBS. Which, by the way, there is an actress that it's been driving me nuts, because now she's in a Wendy's commercial, and I see her in. There is an actress. I don't know the actress's name. She's a black lady that has just about every series that Chuck Lorre has put out, she's played like a smart aleck nurse. Like she was in Big Bang Theory as a smart aleck nurse. She was in Young Sheldon as a smart aleck nurse. She's a regular character on Bob Hart's Abishola as one of the smart aleck nurses. I think she was in 2.5 Men in one of those.
That last one.
It's on Monday nights. It's got the guy from Mike and Molly, and he marries a woman from one of the African countries. I don't remember. But she's now in a Wendy's French toast sticks commercial where she plays one of the characters' moms, talking about how great the French toast sticks, even better than Mom's. And Mom's like, wait a minute. But that lady plays a nurse, and it's always a nurse. I don't know why it's a nurse, but it's always the nurse. And it's
typecasting.
Like if you ever saw The Big Bang Theory where Wolowitz has the robot stuck to him. and he goes to the hospital. That's
Nobody
her.
makes breakfast as good as Wendy's new home-style French toast sticks.
And she shows up in every...
Oh, that lady.
Yes, she's like as a nurse in every one of Chuck Lorre's shows at some point. I don't know how, why, and why is it always a nurse? And Bob Hart's Abishola, she's a regular cast member as a nurse.
That's funny.
It's just crazy. So I don't know.
And then when you're talking about cliffhangers,
yeah,
it reminds me of this. What?
I don't know. I didn't hear him. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, he probably told me to change the graphic.
Oh, okay.
No, this is this Japanese comic book.
Okay.
That's you don't know it, but it's kind of famous. And the main character gets on a boat, and for 10 years, not in the story time, but in actual real life 10 years, it took the writer to get him off that boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and it became such an inside joke. So it's like when the fans got excited for when he finally got off that boat. So that's what I mean when it's like the longer you wait, the more people get excited about stuff.
Sure, in certain things. But when it comes to wanting to know how a story ends, not going to wait that long. Not going to wait that long. Yeah.
It's just weird.
He's got to do his bits. I think maybe we'll try these here in just a little bit. Maybe we'll play the interview first. It's only a 17-minute interview. But we're going to play an interview here in just a little bit we had with the Friends of Bitter Lake, talking a little bit about that. Also, Roy brought in 2 flavors of soda we want to try. He brought a Coca-Cola Move flavor and then a Pepsi that has a Peeps flavored Pepsi. So we're going to try those here this hour, too. So that'll be on the agenda. And, of course, we'll do news and do all the other things we normally do during this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the gusty wind will hang around for a while as high pressure moves back into our area. We will be getting sunshine today. Wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour and our afternoon high 65 to 70. Overnight will be clear and a little bit breezy down to the low 30s, and then a windy Tuesday. Lots of sun, our high going up to 70, wind kicking up to about 35 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 44 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 30%. Winds currently variable at 3 miles per hour. We do have a red flag warning in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. I think that's mostly due to humidity and dryness more than wind, because wind's not so much an issue today. However, it will be back in the forecast tomorrow. But today they're saying sunny skies, high of 68, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 34 degrees, west winds at around 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny and a high of 72, but the winds are going to be up once again out of the southwest early 10 to 20 miles per hour. Later, picking up 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 36 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, another sunny, windy day. Sunny skies, highs once again right around 70. Winds will be up out of the southwest 10 to 20. Later, those winds will pick up 25 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. Mostly clear Wednesday night, overnight low of 38. And then Thursday, I'm just going to read it. I don't know how to explain this to you. If you know, let me know. But this is verbatim what they say for Thursday. A 30% chance of showers. Areas of blowing snow after 11, mostly sunny, high of 52, windy. None of that makes sense to me. A chance of showers, I'm assuming it's rain with mostly sunny, high of 52, and the blowing snow after 11. How are we having blowing snow with highs in the 50s? Is there new snow that melts at a higher temp? I don't know how this works here, so I don't know, but this is what they say. For Thursday night, we're looking at clear skies and blustery with an overnight low of 25. Friday, back into the low 60s, sunny and 62. And then the weekend, 60 and sunny on Saturday, mostly sunny, 72 on Sunday. So, I don't know. So it's going to be windy Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, that's an enigma. I have no idea what that's going to do. And then back to some kind of normalcy on Friday. So that's our weather. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with the folks from Friends of Bitter Lake. Don't go away. We'll do that on the other side of the break. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in New Mexico, but it's preventable. If you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, are overweight, smoke, or have other risk factors, it's time to talk to a cardiologist. The cardiology team at Artesia General Hospital has the experience and latest diagnostic technologies to help you identify your risk factors and diagnose and treat any heart health concerns you might face. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart. Request your cardiology appointment today at artesiageneral.com/heart.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com. The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get 500 megs. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speed. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
The Calico Cow has moved to a new home. Visit the Calico Cow at their new home, 200 East College, behind Farley's in Roswell. Lots of exciting changes at the new Calico Cow. New LED lighting, an amazing large classroom, plus more space, which means lots of new items and an even bigger selection of fabrics. Come see it for yourself. Want to know how? Come see the Cow. The Calico Cow's new home at 200 East College in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 15 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Friends of Bitter Lake, we have President Meredith Hildreth, and then Don Will back with us as well. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing today?
We are wonderful.
Real good. Doing good. And, of course, for folks that are not familiar, of course, Don and the Friends of Bitter Lake, we pop in once a month. And the Friends of Bitter Lake, they are the volunteer organization that keeps the events and things and keeps the public going and the public eye of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. And doing that, it's made up of volunteers that do conservation projects out there. And, of course, you might have heard of things like the Dragonfly Festival. That's kind of the Friends of Bitter Lakes.
That's our thing.
That's our thing. Yeah, exactly. So, first off, good morning. How is life out at the refuge this morning? Things going well? The animals are in the midst of doing their
transferring, I guess in this time of year, they're heading back north, I'm guessing.
I can tell you that yesterday I got blown away.
So did the birds, I bet.
Yes. I was out there working. We're having some issues with the water system on the butterfly trail.
Okay.
And so one of the maintenance people out there and myself are trying to track that down. We think we have a handle on it. So,
okay.
But we've got to have that water running because we've got a cleanup of the butterfly trail coming up.
Okay.
Meredith, you can tell them about that.
Yeah, if you well, first off, if you've never walked and checked out the butterfly trail, you're invited to come out
anytime.
Come out today or during the weekend and do it. But like you said, when you do come out there, it's not you're just a visitor. Remember that,
right.
And you walk through there. But part of the some of the things that the Friends of Bitter Lake do is these projects and things, and we got one coming up here with some maintenance on the butterfly trail here.
On April 22nd, that's Earth Day.
Okay.
That's our project. We're
planned by coincidence? No, it was planned that way.
April 22nd, 2023, Earth Day. Yes, we're gonna clean up the butterfly trail and do some planting.
Okay. So and obviously, for folks that aren't familiar, it is the wildlife refuge. It's not Bottomless Lakes. Bottomless Lakes is your state park to go and picnic and swim and do all that. Mm-hmm. Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is there to study, conserve, and follow the habitats, natural plant life, animal life, and things that are indigenous and native to this part of the country. And so when you talk about going to do the butterfly trail and planting some, it's not just rolling in there and grabbing some flowers from Home Depot and coming back and planting them out. They're studying on what plants that the butterflies, what are indigenous to this area, things that are supposed to be here versus things that got brought here through various other ways and things like that. But a lot of that work you're doing, so when you guys go out there, it's not only just clean up trails, making sure there's not trash and things, but making sure plant life and everything is what's supposed to be there.
Often we plant milkweed.
Okay.
For the monarch butterflies, and it increases all the butterfly population. So we've seen that over the few years we've been planting the milkweed on the trail and on the refuge.
Gotcha. So and I know Don and I have talked on months past on here about the monarch butterfly and about their amazing how it's like generational migratory where this generation of butterflies is going to go from kind of here to here, and while the next generation will pick up the trail as they go through. The monarchs that come here, are they ones that they're really migratory, or some that are here for the majority of the year? Are they just here for a certain small window and then they're off to the next stopping point?
It kind of happens both ways.
Okay.
At the Dragonfly Festival, we release. I'll get that word out yet. We'll release a number of
to
monarchs
increase the monarch population.
Increase the population around.
Yeah.
Some of them will do their thing here, lay their eggs, and pass away.
Gotcha.
That next generation will then have to find its way, and it will move on.
So some that are released here, they're kind of saying, "No, I kind of like it here. I'm gonna establish roots here for the next generation to continue the migration."
That's why we put out the milkweed. Because it's not so much that they eat the milkweed. The milkweed is where they put their eggs.
So it's home for them. That's where they can build their cocoons and things. And pupate, I believe, and all the terms.
All the butterfly things they do. Butterfly things.
The larva that comes out will eat the milkweed, but the butterflies themselves, they use that to put their eggs on.
And then obviously it's like, hey, when the larvae is ready, here's lunch.
Have something to eat, and I'll go find another plant.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. But if you'd like to come out and help with the planting and cleaning up and stuff, do they need to pre-register? Just come on out and join you on Earth Day here.
That's a good question. I know Steve would like to know how many people are coming out.
Just so you can have a handle on.
Right. We usually give something, maybe a sandwich or something.
Okay.
For those.
So
who
maybe
participate.
call the refuge, call the store, or call the refuge there and say,
call the refuge at
and
the
say,
nature
hey,
store.
I'd like to get on list, and Steve or one of the volunteers there will get you get your questions answered.
Any groups who would like to volunteer doing cleanup projects or any kinds of projects, call Steve Alvarez at Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah. And, of course, you'll find all that. If you go to friendsofbitterlake.org, which is the Friends website, you'll find all the contact information there, too. Of course, you can Google search Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, and the website will come up and all the contact information there. But, by the way, while you're there, if you kind of want to learn about all the cool wonders and things that Bitter Lake, houses, but, what's available to you, the public, to see, that website's a good resource to kind of, if you want to plan a day trip out to the Bitter Lake, do some hiking or just some nature walks or bird viewing or whatever.
Absolutely.
You can do that. You can kind of get all the information there too, and find out what times the gate closed so you don't actually accidentally get locked in. Things like that.
Yeah.
In the nature store.
And, of course, visit the nature store.
The nature store is how the Friends generate revenue to assist the refuge in its mission of
That's your big
conservation.
fundraising entity to help
Yes.
Bitter Lake is that store.
And we
there.
have unique gifts, beautiful T-shirts. I got a couple for my birthday.
Nice.
So they are wonderful gifts and lots of jewelry and these beautiful pins.
Oh, nice.
That I'm
Collector's
going
pins?
to give to you,
thank
Mike.
you. I love pins. Oh, cool. It's got the dragonfly. Is this a Bitter Lake one, or is this one of the dragonfly?
That's Bitter Lake.
Okay, cool. That is awesome. Thank you very much.
You're
Which
welcome.
you can get this collector's keepsake. Plus,
That's right.
I know you guys also have learning materials. So if you're looking for books and
lots of books,
projects for, like, say, to work with your kids, like a STEM project,
There you go.
or those kinds of activities,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find a lot of that at the Bitter Lake store there as well too. So you can get donned up with your hats and T-shirts and everything. But if you're looking for some great enrichment projects for your family and stuff, you'll find a lot of that kind of stuff there too. And then all of that money goes back to things like the butterfly trail and then the bird stand, the bird blind, and the various other projects that are always going on out at Bitter Lake.
One interesting thing the refuge has done this past year is replace about at least 7 miles of fencing with antelope-friendly fencing, because
Okay.
antelopes don't jump over fences; they climb under them.
Okay. I was thinking to go through them, but I didn't know.
And so,
They might do that too.
A little bit of that too.
so we've seen pronghorn on the refuge.
Okay. So are these fences designed to let them go under?
Yes,
kind of deal? It's kind of more
they climb,
under-friendly kind of thing?
They crawl under the fence.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like it's kind of like the opposite of Roach Motel, where they can get in but they can't get out, but this will let those in, but not other things that shouldn't be coming in.
Right. Right.
So very cool. And again, that's kind of the battle that the refuge is, since the dawn of the refuge, is keeping keeping things that are native here to, because that's the biggest battle I think the conservationists and the volunteers and everybody have is plant life that isn't really native to this area, that does happen to heartily grow here, but it's so hardy that it crowds out the things that should be here. So so a lot of the conservation projects are that battle is keeping the foreign stuff away and letting the indigenous stuff
Such
flourish.
as the salt cedar.
Yes.
Salt cedar.
That's a 4-letter word over at the Bitter Lake, salt cedar.
You got it. Yeah. You got it.
Phragmites.
Yeah, Phragmites.
Another 4-letter word.
Yeah. And tumbleweeds.
Yes.
Oh, terrible.
Well, no one likes tumbleweeds.
That's part of what we want to get off the trail.
Sure.
Is that kind of stuff.
And by the way, if you've never been out to Bitter Lake, please. And I know there's so many people that probably lived in Roswell in this area a good hunk of their life and never made a trip out to Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. It literally is. And you always hear the term oasis in the desert. It's literally that. Literally, it is that oasis in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
You think you know Roswell? Go out to Bitter Lake. It's a different world out there. And
we do have a beautiful visitor center. And
absolutely.
Where the nature store is.
Yeah.
And an observation deck.
Yeah.
And it's really great. It's a great learning place.
Yes,
so.
it's great to even
and
if you
a place just to relax.
get away from the hustle and bustle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got out there
So
and then
important.
come see it. Another thing I want to remind folks is if Friends of Bitter Lake always looking for more volunteers. If you'd love to, be involved with not only getting your hands in the dirt and doing that fun stuff, but serving, planning, volunteering to work out at the Bitter Lake store there.
Mm-hmm.
Any of these kinds of resources, if you'd like to volunteer time for that, Friends of Bitter Lake would love to have you come on down and
talk to Steve Alvarez.
Okay,
he's the volunteer coordinator.
I always joke he's like he's your park ranger out there. He's the guy.
More or less. Yep,
he's the one chasing Yogi around. I'm just
we got a few yogis out there. I'll tell you.
we need more boo boos and less yogis.
Yep.
One of our board members is going to present information about butterflies and gardening.
Okay.
at the refuge, April 1st.
Okay.
I believe Vicki Burris is going to present.
Okay.
And then I think she's going to give a talk at the library as well, but
Okay.
I don't have the date on that.
Okay, but we know for sure she'll be at the refuge on April 1st.
April 1st.
What time is that lecture happening? Do you know?
What I have is 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. Okay. Call ahead if you have any questions.
Yeah,
and
that
Steve
may be,
they'll be able to help you with that.
That may be the time we want the volunteers out there to help set up.
Okay. Well, you might get a few more volunteers. You just tell everybody to be there at 10.
Yeah, be there at 10. We'll help, you can put the chairs in place.
And then you sit in one and hear the lecture.
There you go.
And we're always looking for new members, too.
Absolutely.
So individual, family, and business members and sponsors for the upcoming Dragonfly Festival.
And that's a great way to support is
Yes.
sponsoring here. And I know September seems a long way away, but it's not that far away. And
It'll be here before you know it.
September 9th is our 2023 Dragonfly Festival.
Awesome. Good deal.
Yeah.
So mark it on your calendars. Obviously, as we get closer to the event, we'll start talking more about it. But if you're interested in becoming a sponsor and things, it's not too early. Reach out to if you go to friendsofbitterlake.org and they'll be happy to get you all the information you need to sponsor, or if you want to get more involved.
Or join, yeah. Now, the point of interest here, you have volunteers and you have Friends of Bitter Lake.
Okay.
Now, you can be either one or both.
Okay.
Volunteers work directly with Steve.
Okay.
Voluntary. We have people who go out and count birds.
Okay.
That's part of the volunteer group.
Gotcha.
We have people that actually go out and do maintenance
Help with
projects.
some of the research and things, and then some of the work.
Yeah, they work with the biologist, etc. And those are volunteers. They may also be a member of the Friends group.
Okay, so you can do both. It
We can
depends
do
how
both.
how active you want to get in.
That's right.
And obviously, serving on Friends of Bitter Lake, becoming a member, your finances also support that.
That's
becoming
right.
That member and signing up as a member, that money goes back again to these projects we've been talking about here.
Yeah, and we're one of the cheapest Friends groups you're going to find. An individual is $10.
There you go.
That's a year. Yeah,
And that is very helpful to keep life and things going on at the refuge there. So please come out to the talk on April 1st. Don't forget April 20th, Earth Day will be the volunteer
22nd.
monarch.
22nd.
22nd, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I had April 20th in my head for some reason. But that come out for Earth Day and come out and be a part of the Monarch Trail Butterfly upkeep there as we do the stuff there. And, of course, you don't have to wait till April 1st to come out. Come out this weekend. Come on out. I hear it's going to be beautiful in 70s, I think, Saturday. So,
and the wind's supposed to be down.
Yeah, Sunday might be a little windy.
Yay.
Sunday might be a little windy, but Saturday and Friday are good days to go out to the refuge, weather-wise, I think, for the next couple days here. And then friendsofbitterlake.org. Go there if you want to learn more about the Friends, learn more about becoming a friend, learn more about some of these upcoming events and exactly what they do. So, is there anything we missed?
We have 70 sinkholes
Wow.
on the refuge.
By design? No.
You do want to miss those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Did you know that at one time back in what 50s or something, somebody stole a car and drove it into one of those sinkholes?
Really?
And it got lost there for years. Nobody found it.
And then someone said, "Hey, what's this car doing in a sinkhole?"
That's about right. It was underwater. So,
wow.
so they finally dug it out.
What kind of car was it? I wonder. Will you tell what year car was and all that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Give you a clue. Would it be funny if they go back and registered who was registered to and everything? That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But, and to be honest, we're running short on time, but we talk about the history of Bitter Lake and all of that refuge there, and it not only is it really a history of our nature and everything, but human history too. There's as much native history and the buffalo hunting. Absolutely. And how the Native Americans use this land for buffalo hunting, but which the way this
there you go.
Painting portrays and all that history is just as prevalent out there as the natural history that's out there too.
Absolutely.
So please come visit. Please come visit.
Please come visit Bitter Lake. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you next time, if not sooner. And like I said, if we want to get some more time outside of this, just to talk about some of these, like as we get a little closer to the 22nd, there maybe we can. Actually, it'll be right around that time, so we'll remind folks about that too. So,
all right.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Good. See you next time.
Thank you.
And congratulations on presidency here, or condolences. I'm not sure which. It could go either way.
A little both.
A little bit of each.
Why do you think I had her take over?
Don's like, I'm down to 27 jobs now.
That's right.
All right, it is 8:33.
Eddy County is now looking for a full-time public records coordinator due to a significant increase in public records requests over the past few years. County commissioners approved the creation of the full-time position this month based on a request from County Manager Alan Davis. Davis said the executive administration assistant now spends nearly all of her time fulfilling public records requests. State law requires open access to nearly all public records involving state and local governments. On the crime beat now, a Roswell man ordered to serve 12 years behind bars for killing his ex-girlfriend in 2021. Christopher Beltran pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for the shooting of 34-year-old Dominique Gonzalez. Roswell police responded to the report of gunshots on the night of June 26, 2021, and found Gonzalez dead of gunshot wounds. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
And this is where we now find ourselves, is that the United States is giving good money after bad, and with no intention, a best case scenario is they fight to a tie. And this is the problem with conflicts historically that the United States gets involved in. If the United States is going to commit militarily to any conflict, whether it be a conflict to protect our own sovereignty or the sovereignty of another nation, and you're not going to commit the resources that would be necessary to win, then we really have no business getting involved in the beginning, because there's no end in sight here.
The Conservative Underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month.
SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercial.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the gusty wind will hang around for a while as high pressure moves back into our area. We will be getting sunshine today. Wind at 20 to 35 miles per hour, and our afternoon high 65 to 70. Overnight will be clear and a little bit breezy, down to the low 30s, and then a windy Tuesday. Lots of sun, our high going up 70, wind kicking up to about 35 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. A majority of the nation's business economists expect a recession to set in later in the year. That according to a National Association for Business Economic survey of 48 leading economists. Wall Street opening higher this morning. The market's trying to put last week's losses behind them, while another full slate of corporate earnings awaits. Target, Macy's and Kohl's, Costco and Best Buy all report earnings this week. Shares of Union Pacific jumped almost 10% after the railroad announced plans to replace its CEO later in the year. Just about all the flights at Germany's Cologne-Bonn airport and the majority at nearby Dusseldorf have been canceled or diverted as a result of strikes. The walkouts also affecting local transport, daycare facilities, and local administration in Germany's most populous region. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing, every storm chaser's nightmare, every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
It's been years since we've had a sale, and it's time to change that. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. We pride ourselves on bringing you the best quality furniture at affordable prices, and I'm pleased to tell you we would like to offer even better discounts during our rare sales event. Here at Glenn's, we want you to feel confident and happy in the decisions you make in our store, so take advantage of this store-wide sale now. Come down to Glenn's Furniture on Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:50. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up the show. So we actually have several things to try.
Quite a few num-nums. First and foremost, Roy brought this forward today. Roy, you want to come in and join us? Now, I've tried the zero sugar version of this one, but this is Coca-Cola. They've been doing these signature flavors over the last year.
Like we tried the Starlight one.
Yeah, the one that tastes like or the internet.
There was like a space one. I can't remember all.
So this one is called Coca-Cola Move.
Move.
Now, here's the thing. It says it's transformation flavored. I don't know what transformation is supposed to taste like.
Is this code for it's going to cause diarrhea?
Probably. Now I've had the zero sugar version of this, and I've
got the zero sugar version too, if you want.
Oh, do you really? I have opinions. I'm curious to try both just to see, but let's get a little sample here.
Have you tried them both, Roy?
No, not yet.
Okay.
All right.
So this
I
is
guess
the
I'll leave you
move.
Since it's yours, I'll leave you the bottle.
Now it smells like Coke to me.
Yeah, it definitely has that Coke finish.
It just smells like Coke. Doesn't smell like a fruitiness or anything to it.
It has like a vanilla scent to it that I'm really picking up.
It's got that Coke taste.
It definitely has Coke, but
like I can't stand the regular
you don't
Coke
like regular
taste
Coke
anymore. I'm
so
tasting.
you might want to try the zero, see what you think. But
that's all I taste is regular Coke. It does have a.
Here, try the zero.
Ooh, it has like a coconut flavor.
It's like a pina colada, but what I likened it to,
All I taste is regular Coke.
it kind of
That
tastes
syrup
like
aftertaste.
it kind of tastes like Tiger Blood snow cone.
Okay.
Have you ever had
Yeah.
Tiger Blood snow
All
cone?
I'm getting is that Coke aftertaste.
So this is the zero.
All right, let me try the zero.
Trying to give you too much here. That's what I've had. And you've never had either one of these, Roy? Okay.
I like the zero 10 times better.
Well, I figured you would. But the other flavors stand out, too.
Yes, now
The
I
pina-
can taste the
pina colada.
Yeah.
It's almost got like a weird nuttiness to it.
Yeah.
You know what that is? Like hazelnut almost.
Hazelnut.
And then this one I'm really curious about.
It's not bad. I don't want to drink a whole bottle of it, though.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be what I'd put down. We're going to be all burpy. So then this one, I've seen this a couple of years now. I've never tried it. Of all the combos, Pepsi teamed up with the people at Peeps.
All right.
Just Born, I believe is the name of the company. At Peeps. And it's the 2023 limited edition artificial marshmallow flavored Pepsi. Pepsi X Peeps. So.
All right. Now.
Crack this open here. And it's again, a full sugar
I'm
soda,
surprised
too,
you
so.
haven't had this one yet, because it seems like everyone else has gotten
I've
their
seen it.
mitts on it.
I just haven't.
Has this been out a while? The gummy? Oh.
I've been. I tend to lean towards zero sugars, and I haven't seen a zero version of this yet. So.
Oh.
Okay. See, this might. I might have the same problem.
There
again
might
with
not be
Coke.
one.
Yeah, I would think you're hard pressed to find a marshmallow flavored zero sugar
It
soda.
doesn't smell like Peeps. It smells like Pepsi.
Yeah, but it's got a distinct like sweet finish.
All right.
It's not unpleasant until you swallow it.
Yeah. It tastes like Pepsi, then you swallow it, and
then it's just aftertaste of Peep.
That's not good.
Notice how it says artificial marshmallow.
It tastes
flavored
like
Pepsi.
artificial.
Aren't marshmallows artificial? Like I thought marshmallows in general were artificial.
What do you mean? You don't get them from the marshmallow plant?
From the marshmallow tree?
I thought they were legit.
Well, they're made from marshmallow root.
You know what? All I can smell is Peep now. Like it's
affected your
it
nose?
smells more Peep than taste. Like I could taste it, but now like in full disclosure, I'm talking into a microphone that's blowing my breath back
Right,
on me.
right.
All I taste is Peep and smell is
You're not
Peep.
wrong. It's definitely got that after.
Yeah, it's just like it's that fake sugar Peep smell. It's again,
It tastes like Easter.
I don't mind Peeps. I don't mind Pepsi. Peeps and Pepsi together don't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like steak and peanut butter. Love steak, love peanut butter. Never put peanut butter on my
also-
steak. You know?
I haven't had Pepsi in a really long time. I forgot how distinctly different Coke and Pepsi are.
I'm not
flavor wise.
I've tried like, I'm gonna try these. You know, like they're out of Coke. I'll get Pepsi Max. And
Yeah.
it's fine. I'll drink it. It's not.
just not.
It's not what I'm used to.
So these two things now, in accordance with FCC, I can't tell you where I got these from. If you want to know, hit me up in DMs.
No, I can't stop burping.
These are freeze dried. These are freeze dried milk duds, and I also have freeze dried oatmeal cream pies here as well. So
Those both sound delicious. By the way,
they do sound phenomenal. I've never in my adult life ever eaten a milk dud successfully.
Really? You don't like
Because
milk duds?
They're just so hard.
They're chewy.
They're very, very chewy. I've never since I've been an adult, never eaten one. Successfully.
I would eat them if that's what you gave me. I would never pick up a box of milk duds and eat them. I'd much rather have a Whopper if I'm going to go that route.
True.
So
Fair enough.
Well, thank you.
I'll pass that over to you.
Well, it feels lighter than it's
It is
good.
definitely light.
It feels like it should be heavy, and then he hands it to me, and it's really not heavy.
It's a lesson in density, kids. The chocolate, I mean, on the outside didn't really survive all that much.
Is this how
but-
they make the Three Musketeers?
No, I don't think this is how they do it. But
here you go, Roy.
Roy, give that a shot. I'll give this a crunch here. All right. It's the first time trying one of these. By the way, follow me on TikTok if you want to see me review all this stuff.
It almost feels like the malt inside a Whopper.
Oh my God. It's so soft. That is so soft. That's perfect.
So light and airy.
It's way lighter than I was expecting. And the caramel hits right at the end.
This is actually 10 times better than a Milk Dud.
I agree.
Like, Milk Dud ought to go see these people and say, what did you do to our Milk Duds? They're 10 times better.
This is really good.
Like, I would never buy Milk Duds. I will buy a whole tub of these Milk Dud freeze-dried.
Right, really good.
It's like the innards of a Whopper, but lighter.
But lighter.
Lighter and sweeter.
Not as hard on the teeth either. A lot of the stuff that...
It almost melts in your mouth.
A lot of the stuff that you get freeze-dried, it tends to stick to your teeth, especially if you have
This
dental work.
doesn't.
This does not at all.
That's a 10. I'd eat that all day.
That's great. And then the other one here is the
problem is
oatmeal
I'd eat the
cream
whole
pie.
thing and not feel fulfilled.
Because it's all air.
Yeah. Problem is, it's so sweet. I might get a sweet, sick feeling. You know,
I'm not much of a candy person, but like the texture's different and all.
Now,
but
this one I'm more intrigued
It just tastes like Milk Duds to me.
It definitely finishes with that caramel.
Now, this is the oatmeal
cream pie. The Little Debbie oatmeal
The
cream
little
pie.
oatmeal. Okay, just like the ones which my wife is a huge
I'm
fan
a
of.
massive fan of these. I already asked if they could do the fudge rounds too.
I would love that.
That's my one.
Or Star Crunch.
So right off the bat, the frosting has taken on like a powdered sugar almost consistency.
I wouldn't be able to finish that.
No.
The Milk Duds.
Not the tub for sure.
We're not. Yeah, just eat one.
What these have become is I take these now to parties, like these tubs, and be like, here, just try them out. Because I had like a bunch of peach gummy rings from last week, and I was just taking those around to different parties.
I'm doing something weird here. I'm just trying the little cookie.
You're donkey lipping it,
and it tastes just like a. It's almost like a store-bought oatmeal cookie because it's now
like a
crispy.
ginger snap, right?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to try it with the cream and everything.
It really does just taste like a store-bought hard oatmeal cookie, iced oatmeal.
It's tasty.
It's good, yeah.
I like the Milk Dud freeze-dried better.
I do too. As it rehydrates, though,
that's good.
I will say this: as it rehydrates, it's really starting to kind of take on that oatmeal cream pie flavor. I like it.
To be honest, Milk Duds is a subpar candy that they made way better.
Yeah.
Oatmeal cream pie is greatness that they're trying to add to that it just doesn't hit because it's already a great product.
I will say this:
it's tasty and I'd eat it, but to me, it's unnecessary.
Do you know those Vortman's iced oatmeal cookies they have? Mm-hmm. Those, one of my favorite cookies of all time. That's exactly what that tastes like.
Okay.
So I definitely wouldn't kick it out of bed for sure.
I would definitely, that's a good munchy thing. Like if you had a bowl of that sitting at a party or something,
right,
it would be amazing.
Yeah.
But that being said, if I want an oatmeal cream pie, I'd rather, you know what I'm saying? I want
you're hoping for that kind of softer consistency,
like
right?
that's great for parties. But if I want just me being a debaucherous snacker in my underpants at home, I want the regular cream pie.
Yeah.
But that thing's tasty, and I would it'd be great as a public snack, or you know what I'm saying, something like.
And definitely a conversation starter too, because you're like, you can explain the whole process. And these are freeze dried.
I'd be very curious to they experiment with pretty much all snack foods here.
There's some that are hit and some that miss. Certain consistencies.
Are they all sweet based? Is there anything savory?
For now, they are. I've been kind of talking to them about getting into like the sustainable, like actual packaging food, freeze dried foods.
Okay. I just didn't even know if they would say like cheese crackers or something like that, freeze dry that, as opposed to a Milk Dud or a Whopper. Jerky. Obviously, that's a weird thing, but I'm thinking like some kind of like nuts, maybe some kind of corn nuts or something.
Ooh, corn nuts might be amazing.
I'm wondering if they could do that with something like that. All
right, I got the
a savory snack.
I got the ear of the creator, so I might make some suggestions.
Of course, it may not work there. I don't know.
True.
I'm just wondering if they all could go sweet. But anyway, that's good stuff.
At this point, we're just R&D.
I thoroughly enjoyed both of those. I would eat those either time. They're both excellent. But oatmeal pie is kind of, you're messing with greatness there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a...
Yeah, you're already poking the bear.
All right, we got to go. Oh, we got a flyer. I'll read that. It's at Joy Center.
First thing tomorrow.
Cool. I'll read that first thing in the a.m. We got to go. Have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you good.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Parts of the southern plains counting the injured and surveying the damage after tornadoes and other powerful winds swept through. Police in Norman, Oklahoma responded Sunday night to storm damage. Officials say there were 12 confirmed weather-related injuries, none considered critical. Storm Prediction Center lead forecaster Roger Edwards says so far there are 9 tornado reports from yesterday, but He suspects that number will go up.
A couple of tornadoes in western Oklahoma near the Texas border, and also a couple of tornado reports in southwest Kansas, and then most of the reports extended across southwest into central Oklahoma that we have so far. We may get a few more from northeast Oklahoma or Missouri from overnight storms.
Meanwhile, some Michigan residents facing a fifth